Good evening, everyone, and welcome back again to my weekly hangout. How is everyone doing? I hope everyone's doing fine and staying healthy and safe. This is, as you know, most of you probably already know me, but for those who do not, my name is Liam. The channel is called Printer. For obvious reasons, I'm into 3D printing, and I'm into astronomy and physics and science. So I'm a serious nerd, and this is all about other makers coming in here, hanging out with me, talking, sharing ideas, talking about what we're working on, what's good, what's bad, giving each other advice, and just general casual hangout. Nothing official about it. It's nice, easy going. I do remind everyone we try to keep the content clean because we don't know who's going to be watching the content, and a lot of younger kids do watch stuff about 3D printing because they're into it. So we like to keep the content that way. So we already have somebody in the background ready to hang out. Let me bring Matt in here. Hey, Matt.
Hey, everybody.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
Excellent. Been keeping busy, I hope?
Yeah, I've been keeping busy with charity work, and so my stuff to show off kind of lacked, so only did a few things. Yeah, I know.
We don't always expect to show and tell, right?
Yeah, I know.
Like, if you have something to show, great. Talk about what you've been doing. Even if we can't see it, tell us about the stuff you've been doing, and so we can all get all excited about the lithophane that you're going to be printing, because that's what you do mostly, right? You're the lithophane king as far as I'm concerned. So,
thank you.
So, tell us about what you've been working on.
Well, I'm making right now the biggest lithophane colored picture what I ever made.
Okay, how big?
It is a lithophane box, but are all printed in one piece.
Okay, what are the dimensions?
200 mil by 250 mil.
Okay, that's a big lithophane. And you're going to have images on all four sides?
Yes. Yes.
Is it going to have a top and a bottom, or just the sides only?
It's going to have another top, what I'm going to print out and going to glue on top.
Okay, just let me say hi to everybody.
Hey.
Old Curmudgeon, hey, how are you? I see you were in here early. Very early, but it looks like you were here since 3 o'clock this afternoon. That's dedication for you, 4 hours before the stream starts. That's fantastic. Hey, Dan, I don't know if you're still around, but if you are still on, you were in really early as well. Let's see who else there. Dominic, how are you, sir? Welcome back. Loopy Lou, who's in the other room behind you, Matt. I know she is, because we spoke a moment ago. Hey, Non-Fam, how's life? Hey, Justin, how are you? I know you're busy with your new job, and that takes priority, but thanks for saying hi. And if you get a chance, pop in. If you don't, all is good, because I know you're busy, because you just have to changing jobs. So it's good that you went from one job straight into the next one, which is fantastic for you. Congratulations again. So, tell us. So, apart from that big lithophane, is that for a? Oh, hey, Mylan, how are you?
Hey, how are you? Hopefully, you're better.
Work is good for the most part. It's tough being. It's always tough to change roles, but you will fall into that in no time. And once you get your feet under the table and you get the run of things, it's probably going to be easy for you anyway. I know it will be. It just takes a little bit of customization. That's all it takes. Non-time saying hi to the world. So, what are you going to tell us? What images are you going to do, or who this is for?
This one is for me. It's my personal.
Okay.
What I'm gonna make. Right now, printed a big lithophane. What I will show off later.
Oh, okay.
I will have to switch over to my iPad and then go into the other room, because this is a big ceiling fan.
The ceiling is that the one you posted on your webpage and your Facebook?
Yes, it's also an elephant one.
That's lovely. That is
the cone-shaped one. Yeah, it's really nice. Came out nice.
Just
one flaw.
You always find the flaw in everything, and nobody else can see it, right?
I know.
You're such a perfectionist. Do me a favor. Show some of the ones that you have beside you, because I know most people who are in chat have seen this, but anybody who has not seen this, been on my channel before, like the big Heineken one is the cool one, or some of the others,
Yeah.
just want to show people the work that you do.
I can finish unfinished one I'm gonna show, and the
Yeah.
finished one I'm gonna show.
Matt does 99% of the time he does lithophane, and he does a fantastic job of them. Back home with a neck brace. Okay. I need to hear that story later on. What happened? I didn't hear the story, so you should come on and let me know when you get time, if you're feeling up to it. Let's see. So I'm working on printing a droid. I'm printing the drink droid, or as I like to call it, R2 Beer 2. So it's going to be a remote control droid that and it can actually lift and raise cans, drink cans out of the back of the droid. So it acts as a delivery setup. So I'm in the process of printing that right now. I haven't gone near the electronics of it yet. I'm just getting the parts printed first, but I will eventually get the electronics done, and then hopefully I'll start into my large, full-size droid after that. For those of you who were following my, actually, I'll wait till a few others come in. I want to talk a little bit about what happened with that resin printer that I got this week that got severely damaged in transit. So I'll show a little bit about that in a while. You ready, Matt?
Yeah, almost. Hold on a second.
Oh,
Switch
come
my
on, Jim.
camera around.
You're back again. You were in at 3 o'clock this afternoon. You're a die-hard fan. I'm 36 hours into a 48-hour print, my longest print so far. Can't be confident.
38 hours. Oh, that's nothing for me.
48 hours.
5-7 days.
Yeah, but if he hasn't done a 48-hour print,
That's pretty long and good.
that's a long print. I've done part of the droid parts can take 3 or 4 days to print. So as long as your printer's well tuned and you take care of it, it'll print fine. You just have to keep an eye on it and maintain it is all it will go. But good, I hope it goes well for you. It'll build your confidence into doing longer and bigger prints.
Okay, this picture is not finished yet. As you can see, I have a little picture attached to it, so I can take those clips.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me put you full screen.
Alright.
1 second, I want to make you full screen so everyone can see this. So that's the lithophane as it comes off the printer.
Yes, yes. And I print out a special picture, what looks like this.
All smudged
So-
colors, yeah.
Yeah. And all what I need to do is align it perfectly. And voila.
Yeah, it's colored lithophanes are fantastic. Actually, when you push it against the back, the colors really pop.
Yeah.
So how do you attach that to make it permanent then?
I use glue stick.
Okay,
When it's
PVA
finished,
glue?
it's like this.
just PVA glue, right?
It's child safe. Child safety. It's this glue right there. Hold on.
Yeah, that's PVA.
Grip stick.
You can get that as a liquid.
All right.
You can buy it as a liquid and you can squeeze it. Like they use it for in arts and crafts. And if you use it as a liquid, you can brush it on with a brush, and then push your printed sheet, the colored sheet on the back of it. You just rub it on with a brush and then push it on there.
Yeah, I need to get a new roller. My roller broke, so I'm doing it smoothing out with per hand. But sometimes I leave little bubbles behind. But
Yeah.
the bubbles are not that. Doesn't affect the picture really.
Well,
Because-
get a pin, punch a hole in the bubble, and
Yeah.
squeeze it from the outside towards the center of the hole, and it will actually collapse and actually it'll fill.
Yeah, I thought about that too.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, that's one of my best pictures I made. No flaws at all. I
Yeah, I
mean,
love
the
that.
performance was beautiful. And it's
One second.
bluebirds.
Yeah, 1 second, guys. Anybody who wants to come in and join the conversation, at the top of your YouTube chat, there is a sticky link. Click and make sure you mute your YouTube first. Click on that link, and you can actually come in and join the conversation if you want to. Everybody's welcome. It's open. It's some of you have been in here, some of you have not. It's easygoing. It's relaxed. We just chat, share ideas and stuff. So feel free to come in. We won't judge you. The only person we judge is Matt, because if he's got a flaw in his little thing, it's a problem for him. Nobody else gets judged, just Matt.
Thank you.
Yeah, anytime, my friend.
Yeah, I don't think I can really see it, but it's turning yellow. The camera, I have to switch over to my other camera.
Yeah,
Then
well,
it comes out better.
yellow with a white light underneath it. Anyway, it's kind of hard to see.
Oh, it's white.
Yeah, but even then, it's hard to see. Yes, Loopy, it is because Matt's bananas. I agree.
Thank you. I love you too, babe.
The Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
That's lovely. That's nice. That would be beautiful. Is that in 2 parts or 1 piece?
One part.
Oh, if that
I can
was
make 2 different pictures I can do, but I decided on printing 1 picture because that was actually a test picture.
yeah, I'm saying if you did that as 2 images and glue them together, and put the color insert inside in them, and then on the bottom of the heart, you make a little hole and put the LED light through it inside. So the LED is the single LED light was inside in it. That would be beautiful.
And that is my
That's the big one you're printing.
yeah.
Are you doing all, or you're doing infill? You're not doing all walls?
No, I do infill. That's what I prefer.
Okay.
I mean, you can do either way. You can do walls or you can do infill. It's basically up to you. But some people say if you use infill, the wall's gonna start shaking, the picture starts shaking, and well, yes and no. It depends how you position it, and also if you have support on it, and a few other things what matters, but mostly the pictures come out perfectly for me if I do infill like that.
Yeah, a lot of people. Well, the people say because of the direction of the infill is never, it's at an angle, right?
Mhm.
Because you're doing the infill at an angle, it actually not only does it wobble, but it actually changes the texture of the image. Whereas if you're doing all lines, it flows with the movement of the lithophane itself. Therefore, you get not only with the wobble, but you actually get they say you get a cleaner image out of it. But you
Well,
get
I can do
fantastic lithophane, so I can't question.
I can do the same picture twice on the same machine, one with 100% infill and one with, let's say, 10 lines of.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that and I'm gonna show it off. It will take me maybe 2-3 weeks to do that, but because I'm quite a bit busy right now, so.
Yeah.
And I have a problem. This printer went down today.
Oh, what happened?
So, yeah. Well, it keeps telling me temperature fluctuation. So I think I have to buy
On the
a
hot end
new,
or the bed?
the hot end.
Do a PID tune.
Okay.
It takes 20 minutes. If you do a PID tune on it, a PID tune, what it'll do is it'll heat the hot end up. It commands you to type it in. I can send you the commands later if you want them. But
Yeah.
you'll go in through over USB using Printerface into the printer, and you type the command to initialize the PID interface. You set how many iterations. I say 10 or more. Never do less than 10 because it's kind of a waste of time. And you set a temperature. I would say set it about 230. What it'll do is it'll heat the hot end up to 230, right? Cool it down, heat it, and it'll repeat that process 10 times and measure the variation between them, right? And then once it measures the variation, it knows based on your thermistor, what the variation should be, the resistance on the thermistor, and would actually fix the number. And if you see you're hotting it in hot and cold, the PID tuning gets rid of that. Now, the only other reason why you get that is if your thermistor is going bad.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I think it's going bad. So
do a PID tune first and see if it fixes it. If it does, it's not the thermistor. If it doesn't, then you need a new thermistor probably.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the thermistor because that's basically the last checkup what I have to do. So
let's see. There are translucent dyes that could be airbrushed. Yeah, but you could airbrush on the colors in the back, but if you show the picture again, the backing picture that you had there.
With the backing, okay, hold on.
Joe, just the backing only.
All right.
Yeah, imagine airbrushing that. That's a lot of work, and you will not be guaranteed to get it right. These are auto generated for you by the software that makes this, so you don't have to go through airbrushing. You just stick it onto the back. And yes, imagine a hot and PID tune is way faster than a bed, and you can only do a bed PID tuning if it's turned on in the firmware. If it's not turned on in the firmware, you can't do it. And most, especially 8-bit boards, do not turn it on. And there's somebody else hanging back there. I'm going to keep him there.
Oh, he's going to rate your fridge.
I won't do that to you, Jerry. You know I won't.
You came on early. What's going on?
I didn't. I came on at 7.
Oh, I thought you always come on at 5 o'clock my time. It's only 4:15. I'm like, why is he coming on
it's
early?
4 o'clock your time.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, what's going on?
Oh, just
showing off some stuff.
Working. He's busy doing lithophane. I've been
Growing
figuring
a
out what I can
mustache.
do with this
Look at
other
that.
tuner.
His mustache or a magic marker on his lip there?
Who's
Matt's
Matt?
got a mustache growing.
He drew that on it with a pencil.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I need to shave. Yeah.
What he needs to do? No, you need to get some cream and rub it on your lip, and the cat will lick it off. You'll find it.
This is pretty cool.
Yeah, let me see that. Actually, I saw you posting it on your thing.
Let me readjust my camera here. Oh.
Hey, how are you? You want a clipper?
That'll be better.
Yeah, but some of the 8-bit boards won't have it.
I've got a mess. I got crap everywhere here on my desk.
So, what type of how good is that camera? First of all, what type of resolution is it? What is it?
I don't know offhand. I've got to tinker with it. Tripod and DeWitt both have one of these, and you can position it, all over the place to get in real close on your prints and everything. Put a light on if you need to. It's got
That's what I need.
focus buttons on the back, but during my video I did a little bit ago, I didn't focus in on anything. I should have put something up close to it, got it blurry, and then focused it, and I didn't do that.
So it's not autofocus? You have to manually focus?
I believe it's got a manual focus on it. I should have read more about it before I done the little video. But these were $89, and then at one point, like a month ago, they were up to $99, and then they dropped back down to $58.99 right now.
Yeah.
And I got the company to send me one free to review, and I had one ordered, and I said, you know what? I don't need one. If they're going to send me one, I don't really need two right now. So I canceled my order. They sent me one. I got it, I think, yesterday or the day before, and it's pretty cool. So, and yeah, I've got a affiliate link underneath the video, and I posted for Amazon. Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty cool for $58.99. Even for $89, ought to be great. For zooming in on different things. If I'm working on something real close up, I can film it.
Very nice.
Because my option, like I showed you, was my C920 on a tripod. I can't always get in real close or zoom in with this.
Yeah, I use one like that, but I don't use it on a tripod. Well, I have a mini tripod that I can bring it really close. And if something that's up off the table, I just lift it up and show and point it out and then bring it back to the table again. But that's a nice idea.
Hello, everybody in chat. How you doing? So
I'm not answering.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I got my stickers in the mail yesterday. Where's the envelope at?
You got
over the pond.
Oh, I saw those from
Honey Badger. James sent them to me.
Oh, nice.
I thought he sent me some a while back and see if I could put eyes in here of the Unknown Comic. Eyes and mouth. I can stick my little finger out for the tongue. Anyway.
Jerry, I've learned one thing. You're easily amused.
Yeah.
Oh, you got 3D printing nerd stickers as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I got that like a month or two ago.
Yeah.
And I gave away, I had done a drawing and I gave one of them away. And
did.
I
I
have one more I'll probably give away at some time. So I think he sent me 3 or 4 of them. Yeah, he sent me 4, and I don't need more than one. So I gave my wife one. She likes to collect stickers.
Mm-hmm.
So
those stickers I sent to the UK arrived. So he's got the ones I sent to him.
okay.
Remember the ones you were telling me to
Oh, I
use?
thought about folding them or something. It shouldn't cost you that much.
No, you told me. Well, I got him to fit in an envelope, and I did the 125 was what you said, and that worked.
Cool. Awesome. So for future reference, you know now.
Yeah.
So, and then my Spawn statue that I have that I'm selling, I went ahead, I threw it up on Facebook and on Twitter, wanting $300 for it, free shipping to the U.S. And then today I went ahead and put on Etsy for $350 because Etsy's going to offer free shipping is like $50, and Etsy kills me in fees. So
Yeah.
I got that listed on there.
Oh, Sparky, hi.
T Sparky, how you doing?
That's cool. Well, it's good that you learned something from us. Yeah, that's the whole idea. And remember, everybody's welcome to come join. The link is in the top of the chat.
I'm using the screen to look at my head here.
Why?
I got a dent or a scratch or something going on. I don't know. When I bump into things, I bleed like a pig.
Well, yeah, the scalp skin is very thin anyway, so.
Yeah, when you have hair, when I was working construction, I'd have to take my hard hat off quite a bit to clean certain things. And I bumped my head against something metal and blood would just run everywhere. But if you had hair, that probably wouldn't have happened. But, it helps to protect you a little bit.
It does help cushion a little bit. It does.
Anyway, my son went out and bought a new truck. He came over 2 days ago, and I don't know. He just got back to work in IT for one of the casinos, and it's a Dodge 4-door. It's called the Rebel.
Okay, yeah, I know.
Dodge Ram. It's a beautiful red truck. You know how much it costs?
They're about $50,000.
$63,000. His payments are over $800 a month.
That's crazy.
Almost as much as his house payment. And then the day he brought it home, the next day he's at the dealer because something broke in the steering wheel and it's real stiff and he couldn't hardly turn it. So he took it in and they gave him a loaner the day after he bought it.
Sounds like
he got a free tonneau cover and something else included that should have been like $4,000 because somebody else, I guess, was buying that vehicle. The deal fell through. His salesman, I guess, wrote up the paperwork on the wrong vehicle. He signed for it. And his vehicle should have had 7 miles on it. The one he ended up buying had 200 miles. He could have got $4,000 in freebies. And he's worried about it being in the shop. Are they going to take that stuff off? I said, they can't, dude. You can sue them. You already signed for it. That's your truck. They fucked up. Excuse my language. You got it. They can't take nothing off the truck.
Dominic said you did a great job of shaving your head.
I got an electric razor. When it starts standing up, I go get a mirror and I sit here and I watch TV or something and scrub it, get it all gone. I haven't cut it in a couple days.
Yeah, well, trucks are expensive.
Yeah, but, I remember years ago when the Dodge diesel dualies or the Ford F-350s, the diesel dualies, 1-tons, were like $50, and that was ridiculous. And this one is like, okay, it's got a Hemi in it, a V8, but when he popped the hood, it's like, where's the engine? It looks like a V6. The engine is shoved way back. It's not way up front. It's like, where's the engine at? But I sit there and I counted different electrodes or whatever you call them, the plugs on the one side of the engine that go, not spark plugs, but these caps that go to the coils. And I counted 4 on one side. That's all I could see. It's like, okay, it's a V8, but
yeah,
I don't know. It looks pretty short. It's got a real fancy tablet on the dash. It's all, for all your
okay. That's everything. Advanced package. It's got
the stereo sounds great in it. Yeah, it's a nice looking truck, but God, that's a lot of money. I mean, when I retire, when I get my pension, no, not my pension. When I get my Social Security at 62, I'll be 57 in a couple weeks.
Yep.
I'm going to get like $1,600 or $1,700 a month. I really don't want to take half of that to buy an awesome truck. That would be crazy. But he's got 0% financing, so at least in 5, 6, 7 years, whatever it is, he'll have it paid off. And if he should ever lose it, at least every penny he pays pays down the principal. so he won't lose as much on the deal because interest kills you. So
I agree. But yeah, the trucks are gotten expensive, and like everything's gotten expensive nowadays. I mean, everything. I have the 4-cylinder.
you can put us back the same size if you want.
Oh, I'm sorry. Forgive me. Yeah, I got the 4-cylinder 1500 is what I have. It's a crew cab, so there's lots of seating space in it.
A 4-cylinder?
Yep.
Holy smokes! He wanted to get a V.
Sorry, it's a 1 liter in 1.2 liter engine. I think it is.
All right. He wanted to get a V6. I'm like, dude, get a V8. If you're going to buy a truck, get a V8. Get something with power.
I don't need power. Like,
and here's the worst thing about the whole thing. And somebody in chat, please help me understand this. When he popped the door for the gas cap, it doesn't lock. You press in, it pops out. There's no gas cap. It's a spring-loaded hole. You simply stick the nozzle in.
Yeah, but it won't work with everything, though. You just stick it.
It'll work with dirt. It'll work with sugar. It'll work with any kind of debris somebody wants to dump in your tank because there's no locking cap. So somebody aftermarket better make a locking cap because anybody could trash your engine and the door don't even lock. It's got to have a locking cap on it.
No, it has nothing.
So this is a world of idiots. People do stupid things.
With the new one, with those caps, if you get a gas can with a nozzle on it, it won't work. You have to have there's an adapter you have to put in there first before you can put in the gas can in there.
Yeah, he showed me something in his glove box, a little adapter about this long. Yeah. And I told him that's more than likely for adding fuel injector cleaner.
No,
or
it's actually for using a can to put anything into it. That's the only thing that will actually open it correctly, so you can actually pour stuff in there. Because when I got my truck first, I made the silly mistake of running it down and not topping up the gas. But I had gas in the garage for lawnmower and snow blowing and stuff. Not that you know what snow blowing is, Jerry, but you're in Vegas. But and the gas was down. It was not no gas. So I went to get the gas can and put it in, and it just spilled all over the place onto the ground. I had to use that adapter, or else it wouldn't fill it.
80,000 old curmudgeon. You can buy a really nice. Well, you can't buy a nice house for that no more. But I mean, 80 grand. That's ridiculous. That's crazy. I told my son at least put mid-grade in it. Don't put cheap gas in it. He's like, well, I don't think I can afford it. I said, dude, put at least mid-grade. Never run it below a quarter of a tank. Because if you run it low, it pulls up crap in the tank. The fuel pump heats up. It's hard on the engine. Do not ever run your truck down to a quarter or lower. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, hopefully he'll take care of it and keep it clean.
Yeah. How's your droid bill going? Your R2.
Yeah, I've got our live stream Friday is all about parts because we've had a couple weeks to print stuff, and I've got a little beyond parts. I'm working on painting, so
I'm still printing parts. I'm doing it slowly. I'm not going to be going as fast as some of you guys because I'm other stuff and I have a full-time day job to do. So I get to it when I get to it as much as I can. I always have something printing. I may not run multiple printers. I might run one printer and just do it on that one. And then later on, when that's almost done, I might start another one on a different printer. I just jump around like that, depending on what components I want to print.
I've called Tiny Machines twice. Once yesterday, once today. Yeah. I emailed Chris on Facebook, and my CR10 Max sitting right there behind me. The bed volume is 450 by 450. It measures out to 470 by 470. And Trevor with Navari has a bunch of those. And he goes, yeah, you can utilize 470. Now, if I can, then I can print my R2D2 dome. It will fit on that at 470 by 470. It's a hex file from Tiny Machines, and I can't modify a hex file. They don't have their source files from Marlin because their version of Marlin on the screen and on the board is on this printer. I want to leave that alone. So I've contacted them. It would take them 2 seconds to edit their own software, change it to 470 by 470, email it to me, or PM it to me, but they haven't done it, and I hope they do because I wanted to get this print started yesterday.
Check TH3D, the unified firmware. See if it'll work on that machine.
Well, then I'll have to change the screen and change everything. I want to leave it. It came from Tiny Machines. It's got their version of everything on it. It's a simple change. I just want them to edit their hex file, their firmware to 470 by 470, but they compile it, send it to me. Yeah. I don't want to go with somebody else's this and that and other. and I just want to get it done. And I'm hopefully they'll get back with me. I contacted a couple people about contacting them, and they're kind of busy, and I'm just waiting for them to message me back, because if you call them, you got to leave a message. They don't pick up.
But I'm just saying, if you really want to push it, Tim Hoogland,
I've already talked to Tim,
and he may have his unified firmware may work on it, and he might tweak it for you to give you the full surface area.
Yeah, but I've talked to him on Telegram. He's really busy, because I asked him if he could get a hold of Chris.
But he might give you the source code.
So I've already discussed it. It's not going anywhere. I have to wait for them to contact me.
Okay.
And if they don't, I'll have to recompile everything from scratch. It's a very simple fix. It's just I can't do it because I don't post their source code. If they would, I could fix it. I wanted to simplify. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting.
No, that's good.
I wanted to simplify 3D, and I went ahead and made the bed 470 by 470. I dropped the STL for the dome on there. It fits no problem. But when it started to print, it goes around to one side, and then it goes straight. Then it goes around to one side, then it goes straight, because it ain't seeing 470. The printer's only seeing 450. So
even if you remove the border out of Cura,
I'm using simplified 3D, and I have no skirt or brim or anything on it whatsoever.
Yeah, when you look at the bed, is the bed got a shadowed border around the edge?
No, it's in the slicer. Okay. It's big enough at 470.
Okay,
but the slicer can't override the firmware.
Yeah, well, because I know I've done it with some other machines that you can actually override it using a slicer. But I wonder if you could input it with G-code commands.
If anybody is buddies with Chris out there from Tiny Machines, please call him for me and say, hey, hook Jerry up and make these two changes, 470 by 470, and send me an email or a link or PM me on Facebook. I'd really appreciate it. I'd love to start that print tonight. So
let me check one thing.
The friend of mine, Walter Casidio, here in Las Vegas, is the one that originally bought the machine from them. And you know who Walter is. He's around on Facebook everywhere, and he works for Count Customs here in Vegas. I had him on as a special guest a while back. I went to his house. I was talking to all about his prints and stuff. I ended up buying that machine from him, and I was working on another one for him, his S5. But anyway,
yeah, I'm going to do a bit of digging. I think there might be a way using Marlin commands to set the bed size, and then you do an M500 to save it.
I wish. I mean, I don't know.
I'll do a bit of digging.
I tinker with Marlin, but as Ben Brady will tell you, I'm basically an idiot with Marlin. I can open up Marlin, I can work with it, but I usually miss something. I can read everything and I can turn things on and off, but I'm not really super smart on Marlin, so I don't use it that much. But I know how to go in and tweak things and file and stuff. So,
yeah. Let me look into it to see if there's a way. There might be a way to issue M commands to set, or S commands to set the dimensions and save them to override what's in the firmware. And if you can put them in that way and do an M500, that will save it and write it to firmware.
And that's awesome that you've got 2 resin printers sent to you, being such a small channel. But come on, they're broke. What's going on?
Yeah, well, I was going to get to that one. Okay, it's a new company, brand new company.
Yeah, we'll become Tiny Machines firmware is what I'm working with on that and on the screen, and I want to leave it alone. I just want to modify 470 by 470 instead of 450 by 450.
Yeah, Olgaboy is going to look it up. He might be able to find it.
I appreciate it if you could help.
But the new printer arrived, delivered by DHL, and the box was damaged. But boxes get damaged. It was well taped back together again. And when I picked up the box, I heard a rattle. And I went, ooh, not good.
No.
So I brought it in. And normally I like to do a live unboxing. But with that rattle, I said, I'm going to open it to see what's going on. Because I was going to do a live unbox the weekend. And I opened it up. And the plastic cover was cracked and broken. And parts of it were broken off. And other parts of it were cracked.
Wow.
And it's a big cover. I mean, like, this thing is massive. Right? I can bring it in and show you in a minute. And then The base of it was fine. It looked okay, but it was rattling around inside. So I messaged them. I sent them pictures to the company. The company's called Seedmaker, and they're brand new. They're going to be going live in Kickstarter in a few weeks. And I sent a message to them and asking, telling them what happened. And I said, look, later on, I'm going to open up after work. I was going to open up the case to look inside, and I did, and I got video while I was opening it live, or I recorded video while I was opening, so I could show what I found when I opened it. And the first thing I noticed was, I can show you right here, little things like these. Let me go full screen actually.
Like you have on a TV set, the LEDs.
Little things like these in the fan inside it, floating around, and little connectors like this. And that's the housing for the lenses for the UV lights.
Oh, it's just like a TV set. If you drop it on the floor, you knock all that stuff loose. It's glued or hot glued in the back, and then it's trash.
So
you could take it apart.
And then so I was wondering like where. Then I noticed also, underneath the LED mat where I have all the lights.
Yeah.
There's a heat sink to cool them because they get hot, right? The heat sink was not attached to anything; it was just sitting there inside in the case.
Wow.
So I took it out. I unplugged the cables carefully, and I took it out, and I found the and I have it here. I'll show you in a second. The UV light with the heating underneath it had offsets, and that was attached underneath the screen, right? But whatever way it was dropped with such force, all of the screws holding the offset to the upper casing sheared off. Right now, I'll show you. I threw a few of these back on, but I don't know if I can. If some of the lights are actually damaged.
Hey, Chris Travis, Don Pam.
So, this. Look how badly this is bent.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Was you home when DHL delivered it?
Yep, and I have it on camera. He was very gentle. He put it down nice and carefully. It's heavy, right?
I mean, you weren't there talking to him when he delivered it.
No. He dropped
it. Pick it up and go, what the blankety blank, buddy?
No, but he was very gentle. I have it on video. He actually took it out of the truck. I could see him at the end. At the end of my garden, took it out of the truck, walked through the grass, put it there, gently, and rang the bell. And then I saw him doing that. So I was in my office in the basement. So I went up, and he was just gone by the time I got there. But it was badly damaged. All of these, if you look in here, the screw is still in. Oh, no, I'll show you the wrong place. Am I there? The screw is still in there. It actually sheared off on all four of them.
Wow.
So my guess is this is mounted up underneath the screen. The screen is here, the LCD. It was when it was slammed, whatever happened or wherever it happened, it came down sideways with so much force that the weight of this, because this is heavy, right? The weight of this, the inertia of it moving, of it hitting the ground, this kept going like you would in a car when you hit the brakes. Hit the brakes of the car, you go forward when the car stops, right? This kept going with the inertia, and that inertia was enough to shear these off.
Some days, one of these days, cameras will be cheap enough that all packages will have a little tiny camera mounted on each side. So when they get shipped and they get kicked or abused, it's being filmed.
Yeah. Well, let's see what was said in here first. I think I missed a few. Let me go back.
There was a question for me, I believe.
Yeah. One.
Oh, hey, Matt, how you doing? I didn't see you sitting there.
Thank you.
So I'm going to see what was said. I'm going to.
I was blinded by your smooth head, Yeah.
Blinded by the light.
Oh, that's funny. So yeah, but it's okay. They're supposed to be. They said they're going to ship me a new one, but this came off so hard, some of the LEDs actually broke off.
Yeah.
The UV. Now, I don't know if it's salvageable or what. I haven't. They haven't asked me to send it back to them yet. They may. I don't know. But it was hammered. And
It don't cost them much to make it, and they can't do nothing with it other than look at your pictures or see it in person and throw it away.
quite
Or they
possibly,
might take a few things off of it, but I doubt they'd want it back. It costs too much to reship
yeah.
back.
Now I do know it comes with an original Chitsu box, Chitsu main board in the printer, which is good. Newton's first law of motion, yes, an object set in motion will stay in motion until acted upon by an outside force. Correct. But so that's what I think happened. I'm waiting for them to come back to me. I sent them the video of what I found inside. I sent them pictures. I told them what I think. I gave them feedback. So I'm waiting to see what they say. It's a pity because I posted a picture. I have a picture here. It's on my phone. Just give me a second.
I talked to my mailman this morning, a different driver, an older guy. I seen he has white hair. He's probably in his 60s or 70s. And I reminded him about my spawn thing that I had sent about a month ago. And he says, I don't remember. And I said, don't you remember? You're the guy that picked it up and you threw it over your seat and made me mad. Oh, yeah, I remember you. I said, and I explained that they tried to deliver it 3 times in Texas. It sat there for 3 weeks at USPS. The guy never picked it up that bought it from me on Etsy. It comes back to me. The guy wants me to reship it, but I've already shipped it once for free for $50. Now to return ship it and put it in a slightly bigger box, which I did, it's $57. I've been waiting on him for 3.5 weeks to pay me $57 so I can reship his package. He's already paid me. There's no refund. There's no return. But I have his money. If he wants it reshipped, this time he's got to pay to get it shipped, and he'll have to be there to sign for it, which he should have been the first time. So I don't know. Who waits a month to go pick up a package and say, oh, we send it back? Well, obviously they'd send it back after 3 weeks of it sitting there with not being picked up.
This is what it looks like.
Okay.
Ooh. It's a nice printer. It looks really good.
I don't know. Just keep it for parts, and one of these days you might build something. You use a hood or part of plastic for something, cut it out, whatever.
Yeah, I'll see what they say. I'm waiting to see what they say. But yeah. And it's a pit, it's monstrous. You have big 4K resins. This is my first 4K, and it's a shame that this happened. But if they ship one to me tomorrow,
I think FedEx brought both of mine, and they're in styrofoam. They're packed perfect. They're packed like they don't want them broke, obviously, and they're packed really, really good.
Yeah, well, mine's the same. It was well packed. The box itself was actually corrugated thick, about an inch thick, of corrugated cardboard. So it was actually well padded, the box itself. And inside that, it was packed in foam inside that again. But it was dropped in a way that the box actually ripped open.
I ordered a DeWalt miter saw off of eBay from a company in Lincoln, Nebraska. It's a compound saw. At Lowe's, they sell for $650.
Yeah.
I paid around $450 from the company on eBay. They mail it out to me. When I get it and I go to open up the box, DeWalt had cardboard inserts in around this saw. It wasn't styrofoam or anything like a printer would be. It was cardboard inserts. They were all crushed. The handle was cracked on it. Another part was broke. Well, I can't box it up and mail it back to Lincoln, Nebraska. So I went to Lowe's, paid cash, bought another one, went home, turned around, went back with the other one, and I got a refund on it that it was damaged, which is going back to the company anyway. But it was, and of course, I'm not going to tell them what happened, but at least I swapped my saw for something that came in on a truck, unloaded with a forklift, gently put on the shelf. By this big box having cardboard inserts was stupid because tumbling it around, those get crushed and smashed. They should have never packed a saw with cardboard inserts.
And Shane, what you're saying there, I tend to agree with you, and I have recommended that they are not strong enough. They either need to put a bracket to support the weight, or they need to build a better frame inside and do away with the offsets, the offstands altogether. Let me get to the top of the case. You can see how big it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's his first resin printer. They sent it to him free to do a video review on, and something is better than nothing. And if it works, then you go from there. But yeah, a lot of companies should build things this way or that when they do what they do. But as long as they work, and
Well, Jesse,
I'm 2 for 2. Here, this is the lid of it.
Will that fit over your head? There you go. There you go. Yeah. Hello. How are you? Go ahead and talk.
At least you don't need a spacesuit anymore. You can survive in space.
Yeah. Yeah, I see where it's broke. That sucks.
Oh, it broke here. And it broke on the other side as well.
Wow.
It's only held on by the plastic. But
All right,
Jesse, you had a
look at that.
question what program I'm using for my
Listener, yeah.
lithophane. I use Luban3D.com. It's not a free program. You can get it free for 30 days, and afterwards you have to pay $70 US for a year license. But if you pay for 5 years, you get a permanent license.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping they'll send me a new one. They said they're going to ship me. It looks like they're going to ship me a replacement. So maybe when I wake up in the morning,
on Twitter, I don't see anything.
Sorry?
He said he tagged me on Twitter, but I don't have any notifications or nothing here. Oh, here it is now. It popped up. Okay.
So maybe,
since I can't DM you, you should be able to DM me.
We have to. You have to follow each other to DM each
Okay,
other.
I'll follow you in a second. Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm following you. Let me go back. He says, I can't DM you. Try M211. M211 BO Prana face. Disable software end stops. If it does not error, it might help.
Yeah, but you don't want to turn off the end stops because it's not hitting the end stops. It's just not traveling to the edge of the bed.
Yeah, it's not even traveling the edge of the bed. It's only going 450, and I need it to go 470. If it'll utilize the entire bed of the CR10 Max, then I can print my dome. There's one person on the group for the 3D printed droids, Michael Badelli's group. He said you can't print that dome on a CR10 Max. Well, my slicer says I can, and I measured it, and I know I can. I just have to change the firmware to 470, and then once I print it, I go back and say, see, you can do it. So,
don't you have to do? Isn't this? Aren't you setting the X and Y offsets?
yeah, on the firmware, I think that's what it is. Offsets. I
And
believe
isn't
that's
that
what it is in firmware.
M206?
They're set. I know they're set at 450 right now, because I can't go bigger than 450. So, and if I have to, I'll just go on Corality. I'll download the firmware for it. I'll go through. I'll reconfigure everything for that, for the screen, re-upload them both, and be done with it. It's just since Tiny Machines already had this compiled with their little tweaks, I figured I'll just leave it alone. If it ain't broke, don't fix. It's my motto. So I wanted to just leave it alone, let them tweak it for me, and be done with it. But they don't have their source code, so I can make some tweaks on it. So.
Okay, so do an M503 in Prana face to get the offsets that's there, and negative them to size the extra you want on X and Y, and I think you have to negative each side, negative 10 on each side, on board X plus and Y, X plus and X minus, and Y plus and Y minus, and then do an M500 to save them.
Liam, I'm gonna sign in with my iPad. I'm gonna show you my lithophane lamp.
And it's M206, Jerry, is what you need to do to apply persistent offsets. So
and that should
you.
And that if that works, it'll save it to firmware. So in the future, if I ever edited the firmware and I went in and looked at it, then it should already be saved at 470.
Yeah, what you do is when you have it set up and it's working, you do an M500 to save it. So when you go in and that's nice.
Nice.
Matt's 3D printing all of his own lampshades. So yeah, I think if you do the M206 saves them, and then you do an M500 after that to save it to EEPROM. But I think you can actually set them. But go in and get the commands, get the you get M503. Gives you the offsets that they are today. Then you make changes to them by typing M206 and set the new numbers, and then you save them and you save them as M500, and that will then you should reboot the printer and they should be saved. But make sure you write down the old ones first. That I think will work. I like the elephant one. I saw that on your Facebook. That was really nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh,
I switch
Maya
over
wants
back
to
to
know if
online.
you're going to post a link to the lithophane. It's just Luban, isn't it? Luban.
Yeah, Luban.
Yeah, it's just Luban, Mylan. It's a software. You can just get it. If you just Google it, you'll find it easily.
Luban, yeah.
M206
I
extension.
used to have a link to get a discount on that, but I haven't. No one's used it on my site in a long time, and I currently don't think I have any specials with Luchen. Matt, when I hooked you up with Luchen, did he give any kind of a deal going through me or no? No. Okay.
No.
Well, a long time ago, he did a couple years ago.
Yeah, that's a lot of code. Well, yeah, but if you want to do customization, like you use similar commands when you're doing your E steps and all X, Y, Z steps and so on. So, and they're firmware fixed. So if you can inject them and M500 it, you can then apply it. So it'd be worth trying to see if you can do it or not. The worst happens, it doesn't work. You just reset your offsets again back to what it was. Just write them down what they were prior to you making changes.
Yeah, I'll research in Interface how to change that and what to do.
Yeah. The Marlin site will have it. If you just Google on the Marlin site, and it'll give it to you. Did chat eat the link I posted? It probably did on YouTube because I'm 1 second. Let me go over to my channel into the stream.
If he's modded, he can't post unless he leaves out one of the letters of the link, like the HTTP, leave out the H or something like that, and then people can copy and paste it, add the letter back in, or just mod him.
Yeah, let me go in there. I need a modem, so let me get in there. There might be some audio feedback.
Leave out the H.
There we go.
Yeah, and Norris wasn't on last week or this week. I guess he's having internet problems down in Arizona or New Mexico, wherever it is he's living. And I guess it rained there real hard today or yesterday. So Norris wasn't on today's 3D print.
Okay, old curmudgeon, you can post now. You're a mod.
I can show you something here though that.
Oh God, no! That mad Canadian's back.
Oh,
right, the Canadian back in the house.
Hey, what's going on, dude?
Not too much. How you been?
Let's look at this first. I want to see this drink droid working.
I got to get some cans first. Go ahead and keep gabbing.
Oh, okay. How's life, Ron?
Oh, life's been good. Been busy at the print farm that I'm now working at, so it's been keeping me busy. Let's just put it that way.
That's good.
Yeah, we got a whole bunch of new the print mills in. Finally came in, and those things are a pain in the butt to set up.
Oh, well, really? Which
Yeah.
ones were they? Creality ones?
The Creality ones, yeah.
Because I saw what's his name, Chris. What's his name?
You mean Chris Hatfield?
I watched him do the assembly, and it was simple.
The assembly is simple. It's the leveling that's
Oh yeah,
brand
it's a
new
level.
different.
It's a level against on one side. Yeah.
Yeah,
sorry.
and
We don't level heads. We're in 3D printing. We tram them.
yeah. Well, I got some like last night. Today we found the actual scale, so I'm going to be using a level. Using a mill scale. I think is the technical term for them.
For which?
A mill scale. Hang on. Let me say I'm low.
Your audio is low. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me.
There you go.
Here, let's bring up. Let's see this working first. Nice.
Does it keep it cold?
I'm actually printing that part right now. Those parts are on my printer right now.
Yeah, I printed it in white and painted it all black.
Yeah, I'm printing it in white as well.
See, it's got two big servos right here on the back. And it's got one right here for the lid.
Yeah.
Right here.
So I'm printing. Those parts are actually on my printer as we speak.
Oh, I forgot to take soda back out and put it in the fridge for my wife.
When is she off on her trip? Next week?
What?
When is she off on her trip?
Oh, the 16th. Can't wait.
Oh, 2 weeks time. Okay, 3 weeks time.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, 16th of next month. Oh, that's a month
Yeah.
away. Yeah, what you can do? You could replace it with a compressor, compressed air, and shoot them out into the air.
Yeah, I seen somebody took a Nerf gun they mounted on the back of one of their droids.
You're good, Okamajin.
I know that would look cool.
Yeah, it's a Nerf gun. And you sit there and on remote control, it starts shooting Nerf darts.
Yeah.
He just drives it around and shoots people. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's gonna be the future army.
All right, you can take me off big screen. Let's focus on Ron.
Okay, Ron, you're in the hot seat
Why am I in the hot seat all of a sudden?
There you go.
because you're Canadian.
Oh, I see. That's the whole thing. I'm Canadian. Okay.
Well, old Kamojin's not in here. If he was here, he's Canadian.
We like
He's
your
not
syrup
Canadian.
and we like your bacon.
Yeah. Well, get out to Murph, and I'll bring you some. Okay.
Is it going ahead? I don't think they've decided. They've said
I
a
haven't
date,
heard.
but
I've heard sometime in June. That's all I've heard.
Hmm.
The problem is we have a border closure right now going on between
Yep.
Canada and the U.S. If I go to the U.S., then I have to go to a
tripod.
hotel for 3 days quarantine, and
Look,
that
tripod.
requires me to pay up to $2,000 for that hotel room for the 3 days.
yeah.
And it's just like no. So I'm not even going to attempt to go across the U.S. Not yet.
No.
We hate your geese. Oh, geez, thanks.
Well, here in Michigan, we get flooded with Canadian geese all the time because they as they cross the border, they always come here. You know.
Illegal aliens.
Yeah, no
Here in-
passport.
Here in Vegas, a couple months ago, some geese flew over. And it's like, wow, I feel like I'm in Texas. That don't happen in Vegas. All we got are dirty pigeons, which we call flying rats. We don't
Yeah.
sparrows. It's cool hearing the geese fly over.
Well, we call that with pigeons, and I believe we call it with seagulls, if I remember correctly. Because I used to live
Yeah.
in the Toronto area, and seagulls are a royal pain in the butt. They used to call them poop hawks out here. Because if you ever look at one, they're bound to poop on you.
Hey, Liam,
Yes.
I noticed that honey badger James made a comment about, look, you got legs. I can't believe it on your video.
All right.
What you
Yeah.
should have done, honestly, it would have been kind of funny. With your son filmed that, have a pair of tennis shoes there, get down on your knees, and then you can sit there and wave up the camera where your knees are only that long and go, hi, everybody, and it freak everybody out. And then talk for a while and then stand up.
Maybe
right
I'll do that for the next video.
Right at the
I'll do
beginning,
it
your
like that.
son is talking. Right when it starts, he's talking, and then I guess then he was quiet.
Who, my son?
Yeah, right at the beginning of your video, you can hear him talking.
Yeah, and Zoran said about 2 minutes into it, you can hear him humming and hawing behind the camera.
Oh.
He's 14. What do you expect, right? And I was just doing something quick and dirty because none of you've asked about seeing the telescopes that I have. So
Yeah. Well,
so
cool.
that's
Thank
why I
you
did
for
this. I put them all out in my driveway.
Yeah, the birds were really loud. It's like, wow, you got a lot of cool birds where you live. I heard all these birds singing.
Oh, they're everywhere where I live. I mean,
That's cool.
like just immediately north of me is Proud Lake, which is a state park, right? And I'm right on the edge of countryside. Is where right there. Like I get deer, I get foxes, I get badger. I get not badgers. I get deers, foxes, skunks. All of those all the time hanging out by my place.
Let me
you know?
guess, prairie dogs too?
We don't get prairie dogs here. We get
Gophers,
what are they called?
groundhogs.
Can't remember the name now.
Chipmunks.
We get chipmunks. Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Oh, we
Yeah,
got
and you're
tons of
jealous of the
chipmunks.
dobs. Yeah, well, the big dob is one to be jealous of because it's huge.
Yeah, I think
Um,
over here we got like rabbits.
But we have
Oh yeah,
Or-
that's good eating.
And
we have coyotes.
same here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I live right on the side of a golf course, and out in Cambridge, we have frickin' foxes, groundhogs, otherwise known as prairie dogs and gophers.
Oh well. Okay. Well, groundhogs we do have, and we also get muskrats as well.
Yeah, and they're big freaking groundhogs.
Yeah. Well, we get them all the time here.
We have homeless people here.
We got that downtown in Kitchener.
Yeah.
I'm now echoing. Oh, jeez, I can't win today, can
Yeah,
I?
you were echoing and like in a warehouse, and then it went away. But yeah,
Yeah, well, we get a lot of coyotes. Like I would hear them. Like if I go out in the evening just after dark, I hear them yelping and stuff. Because right, as I said, north of me we have a state park. Directly south of me, I mean directly just down the street from me, we have a nature preserve, a small nature preserve that's owned by the city. So I'm sandwiched between two nature areas, and the coyotes we hear them all the time in the nature reserve. But I've heard them in my backyard, and I have neighbors who've seen them in their backyard even in the day.
That's scary. Especially
Well,
if you have animals.
small animals, yes.
Yeah, my chihuahuas had no chance against it. I mean, they might have a chance against an elephant, but
No,
Not
a
against-
big dog. A coyote is like a small dog, right? Like they're a medium-sized dog. They wouldn't come near a German Shepherd because a German Shepherd would tear him a new one.
yeah,
Even as a
but
pack of them,
Chihuahuas?
they'd be very wary about going near a dog the size of a German Shepherd. My dog's the size of a Shepherd. But I have neighbors who've got small, toy-sized dogs. I
Yeah,
never
like
leave
I
them out
have.
at night. Because I've heard of people's animals going missing because they let them out in their backyard and coyotes got them during the night.
Yeah, we hear
Really?
them. Oh,
if anybody's interested, that's the spawn that I'm selling. It's all resin printed. I
Zoom
just
in,
put it
Jerry.
on that. Huh?
Zoom.
Zoom.
Scroll bar in your mouse
Oh,
upwards. Or you can do that. There you go.
I just put that on Etsy for $350, free shipping to the U.S. Not on Etsy, I'll sell it for $300 free shipping. So if somebody buys it from me through PayPal and messages me, anyway, it's all hollowed, 3mm thick. The cape is solid, and multiple pieces come apart when I ship it, and they can be put back together by hand without gluing it.
Yeah, it's a fantastic print.
I wanted to sell it to my son. He's like, "Dad, I just bought this truck."
oh, we just lost
Jerry.
him.
He hit the wrong button. He hit the wrong button. Instead of killing the share, he killed his StreamYard. He'll join
Probably.
again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we do get a lot of coyotes here. As I said, I even heard them one night at around midnight, right outside my backyard. It was so loud, my doorbell camera recorded them, and they were screaming into my doorbell camera. It was super loud.
Liam, how long are you gonna be on for?
I'll probably be on for at least an hour or two more. I normally do about 3 hours. If people stay around, I'll do about 3 hours. If people don't, I'll end early. But I average about 3 hours for this.
I'm gonna be back in half an hour then.
Okay, man, no problem. You hit the wrong button, Jerry.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah, I hit leave studio for some reason.
They're so close together, it's easy. They should actually put them in different areas, so you can't make that mistake. But so cool. So what else are you printing, Ron?
Right now, nothing much. I'm actually got a new printer I'm going to be doing unboxing on Saturday.
Ooh, what one?
Cool.
What is it?
I got the Ender 5.
Which one? The 5 Plus or Pro or?
The 5 Plus. It's the 5 Pro.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a wicked sale that was on AliExpress of all places on the Creality site.
Yeah,
Went in the Creality, and it was like on sale for like I think $400 and some odd dollars Canadian.
actually, Comgrow are doing a big sale at the moment too.
Mm.
But
Yeah,
I got a new printer delivered, and it was smashed.
yeah, I saw you got the resin printer.
The
Which one?
Yeah, it's a new company called Seedmaker, and it's called the Particle S3. It's a 4K resin,
Nice.
and it arrived.
Broken.
It
Great.
arrived- well, it was a shipping company, but this is the LCD screen. This should be full of lenses. They all fall off.
What
Like
the
a TV
heck?
show, like a TV set, basically.
Yeah, and all of these sheared. They sheared off the screws holding it in place. That's the heatsink.
Oh,
It's heavy. It's heavy aluminum. So
I would be definitely So, have you been able to get contact with
the
anybody?
company sent it to me to review. Right? It's
Yep.
a Kickstarter. The Kickstarter's not gone live yet. It'll be going live in a few weeks. So they sent it to me, and it arrived smashed. And I sent them video of everything and photographs and everything. So I believe they're going to be shipping me another one today to replace that one, and hopefully it'll arrive in one piece, so I can actually do a review on that one.
If the next one comes and it appears to be in perfect shape in your live stream, take off the bottom and look at it just to see if anything fell apart, since it is a Kickstarter. And if it came undamaged, you can say, well, let's see what fell apart. And, if it's in perfect shape.
It arrived, the other one, when I lifted up, it rattled. Right? So I knew there was something wrong once I picked it up to bring it into the house.
Wow, Dominic got an Ender 5 Pro for $188 off Amazon Return Warehouse.
Cool.
Yeah, I wish that we had Amazon return warehouses out here. We don't. Just Amazon. That's it.
You have auction houses all over the world, and probably in Canada, that sell Amazon returns. Somebody there sells them.
Yeah, but the funny thing is that the Amazon returns, to get them into Canada, then I got to pay massive amount of duty.
Not if you get a warehouse in Canada for an Amazon warehouse.
That's what I tried, and they don't seem to do that.
Well, the returns have to go somewhere. They got to sell them to somebody.
I think they get shipped across the border and then sold.
Oh, well, that could be.
Oh.
Yeah,
maybe. They're probably bought in bulk, because I've seen other people who ship. They sell a pallet of stuff, and that's what you buy. They'll sell a box, and you don't know what's in it, but it's a whole pile of things. Chances are you're going to get about 50 pairs of iPhone, the earbuds, the new wireless earbuds, because they're always being returned, apparently.
Yeah, I actually got these ones, which I kind of like. Fire.
I don't use wireless earbuds. I do hands-free in the car, and I like that. I like that. Let me bring you up, Jerry. Show your camera. Okay, here's Jerry's tweet. No, put it on your head. You should put it on your head. Now it looks like Cousin It. So you have to make Cousin It sound now. Come on, it looks like Cousin It.
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's going on?
How are you? How's your neck doing? How's your body after the car wreck?
My ribs are bruised on the left side pretty bad. And basically, when my head slammed into the window sideways, then it strained the neck. I already get muscle spasms and Charlie horses in my neck just from the disease, but this is like 10 times worse. It's worse than when
Are you getting any new computers out of this accident?
I didn't hear you.
Are you getting any new printers or computers out of this accident?
Yeah, from what I see, yeah. So my VA rep showed up, my school rep showed up, both of them got together, and within 5 minutes they were calling the lawyer. While I was sitting there, I'm high as a kite in the emergency room. I don't know what they're going on. Like, you don't talk to them people anymore. You don't have anything to do with them. We got your lawyer. He called. I talked to him on Monday. Then he got back to me on Tuesday, and I signed release papers so you get my medical paperwork and everything else, stuff like that. So,
do you remember you're on my live stream last Friday in the hospital?
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember. I watched it. It was kind of funny. It was kind of funny. So yeah, I remembered it and I watched it. So, but also he got he contacted the bus company and sent an order. They have to preserve the video footage for that bus, and when he picked me up and dropped me off, so they can't destroy it or anything. So you got right on that.
It's called a duty to preserve data, duty to preserve, and it's required for all legal that matters, especially if there's video involved, for proof of evidence. Yeah, I deal with that stuff all the time.
The guy was driving like a maniac from the beginning, from the moment he picked me up.
So was there a camera up by the driver filming behind him that caught you going flying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's two cameras that are facing in the rear. And every time he would hit the brakes, it would slam me forward. He was hitting the brakes that bad. He was swiping from lane to lane, slinging me back and forth like this. And then when we're coming out of the parking lot from picking this other customer up, he's speeding real fast, makes a right-hand turn. I'm on the rear left-hand side of the vehicle, hits the rear right tires on the curb, launched both my feet were hanging off the left side of my wheelchair. My ribs got slammed into my armrest, and my head slammed up against the window. And he's going to ask me, he goes, "Are you okay, man?" I said, "No, you hurt my ribs and my neck." He goes, "Oh, sorry, my bad, man."
Sorry, my bad. That's it.
Yeah. That's all he said.
Oh, good Lord.
Driving.
Well, two things are going to happen. One, the company is going to have to own up for the driver because it's under their purview, and my guess is he's already looking for another job.
Yeah, because the lawyer's already contacted them anyway. So
yeah, but I'm guessing he's already looking for
medical records, and what's most damaging is the video footage from inside the bus.
Hey, Jesse, we're in the U.S. Everything's a lawsuit in this country.
And I'm not normally a person to do that, but he was a bad driver and completely wrong. He didn't show no compassion. He didn't come back to check on me, anything. It actually, the straps they put on your chair to hold it down, it moved my wheelchair over about 3 to 5 inches. That's how hard he hit that curb and launched me. So I was trying to get my chest strap on. I have because he was hitting the brake so hard, but I couldn't reach it with just one arm. So I had to reach over here, grab it, and bring it across, and then clip it in over here. And it's a chest strap. I couldn't even reach it, and he tore my butt up. So we'll see him in court. So the lawyer goes, "Don't even worry about this. It's a win-win case." So,
well, yeah, it's obvious negligence. But I will say one thing. I'm going to give you one small bit of advice. Don't talk about details of your case until it's over, because I know you told us just now, and probably nobody else. Probably nobody.
No, I don't talk to anybody else.
But don't discuss it because it can go against you in court. Because if your story even wavers a little bit, they can say that what you're saying is made up. So
well, what he had me do, what the lawyer had me do on Monday, since everything was so fresh in my head, I recorded an audio file. And I sent it to him. And they called yesterday, and I said, I can't talk to you guys anymore. And I hung up the phone.
Yeah, you said, no, you see, I'm not allowed to speak to you. You need to speak with my legal team. And that's it.
Yeah, that's basically what I said. So,
and even outside of that conversation, just keep it down.
The only other people that know are my VA rep, my Socola rep, and my daytime aide, because they have to help take care of me, getting into the shower, stuff like that, and everything else. So they have to know what's going on, where I'm damaged at, and everything else. So other than that, even my neighbors have asked me, "Oh man, what happened?" I said, "Oh, just a little accident."
Well, so you can tell them there was an accident, and you can tell them at a very high level. Don't go into detail, because if details change, they can use it.
All I told them was I just kept it nice and simple, just a little accident, nothing to worry about.
Yeah, because I'm a product manager, but I work in with regards to legal products. So I deal with lawyers and legal teams and federal agencies all the time. And you want to be careful about what you say, because they'll use everything and they'll twist it to make sure that they come out, that they try and win. That's how it works. There's no black and white in the law. It's all gray. And it's about who can make it less gray than the other person. And that's what makes the case,
Yeah.
But if you have the video footage and they have that available, that will show the method of driving. And your injuries are obvious. So, and there's been medical evidence of that. So, but still, just take care of yourself, and I'm sure they'll fight really hard for you. So.
Oh yeah, they will. So, but it's just slow motion. It's just they said it could be 2 to 3 weeks in the brace. They just want my muscles to stay, and my neck to stay pretty much where they're at. Try not to have no heavy bending like that. The only time it really comes off, I take it off probably once, twice a day, just to let my neck breathe, because it gets all sweaty and shit in here. Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry, no cousin.
No.
And when I get in the shower.
To help with that, baby powder. Johnson & Johnson baby powder. Dust down your neck, and before you put it on, I even if you're wearing a t-shirt on a very hot, humid day, dust your body down, and then dust the inside of your t-shirt with baby powder and put it on.
We used to do it in the military. We used to do it in the military.
Yeah, you
so actually my nurse told me to get some of that. So
yeah,
but,
it makes a big.
Other than that, I'm hanging in here. It takes a lot to stop me.
I know, but still, it's good that they're going to take care of you, but it's horrible that it happens.
Yeah.
Well,
a lot of people don't understand is basically you have to look at it like this. Depending on how close knit your family is and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When you get sick, you become a burden to them. And to other people, you basically become like prey to a lion. People want to try to take advantage of you and stuff like that. That's why they're always hitting up senior citizens, getting them all these scams and stuff like that and everything else. You know, and we had one client that I know of. The person that was taking care of them actually wrote up a fake power of attorney and went down to their bank. But they already had a hospice company on file for being their power of attorney.
And you can't
that person got arrested.
Yeah, you can't have two for the same thing. You can assign power of attorney to a specific area, like access to your bank accounts or access to your medical records, whatever. But you can't. You can't have multiple people doing it unless they're all on the same power of attorney. They have to be listed in the same document.
Yeah, but see, they have to call me and call the like me. They have to verify with me, and they have to verify with my hospice company.
Yep.
If I've added somebody, see, the person didn't think about that stuff. So, other than that, just sitting here now.
So no printing then.
No printing right now. Printing off a stand for my tablet I'm getting tomorrow. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Get me a tablet tomorrow, so I'm supposed to be bringing it to me tomorrow.
At least you're in one piece anyway, still.
Yeah, that's true. Not very
as my parents used to always say when we were kids, if you fell and you got hurt and you get up and you're injured, you know, they say you always say, "Don't worry, you'll be better before you're married." That's what my parents always said to us. So, well, I'm good to see you you're out and about a bit anyway. You have some, at least you're not laid up in a hospital bed somewhere.
Yeah, well, I stayed overnight, so.
Yeah. Well, they do that for concussion.
Man, they kept hitting me up till about an hour from when I left the hospital. Man, it was just Valium, Dilaudid, Toradol. Oh man, I was like crying. I didn't remember what we talked about on Jerry's stream. I didn't remember I was on there, so I had to go back and watch it when I got home.
Here's the worst part about being in the hospital: they wake you up to give you a sleeping pill.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
and it seems like
it's not like you're sleeping well enough. They just want to wake you up so you can take that pill so you can just sleep longer. Or something.
Or they
always come in more at night. They always come in more at night. During the daytime, you'd be hard pressed to get a nurse to come in a room. During the nighttime, as soon as you doze off, they start coming in every 3 to 4 hours. They're like, Christ Almighty, man, just give it all to me and don't bother me until tomorrow morning about 9 a.m.
Yep.
Knock me out and leave me alone.
So no, they kept me downstairs in the emergency room. They brought me a normal bed, but because of my breathing problems, they have all the COVID patients upstairs. They didn't want me around them, so they just kept me overnight. I went home probably about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon the next day. So they just wanted to monitor me and everything else. So plus my oxygen was a little bit low. They always get worried about that. So, but like I said, I'm still a little cranky. I'm still wearing my patches. So
you're always cranky. That's no different.
Oh, I'm just a big old teddy bear. Come on now.
You're always cranky.
So what's been going on new with you guys anyway? I've been trying to eat, and deal with my bonehead dog. So,
well, Jerry is printing the droid. So I don't know what he's up to now. Looks like he's busy in his computer.
Yeah, I'm just messing with my cameras. I can hear you guys, but I can't see you.
And Ron is just being Canadian.
No de-stressing more from those stupid print mills that don't want to print.
Well, I don't have one, so
I got 3 of them at work. Okay.
Hold on a second. I turn my fan on.
So, but the leveling of the tramming of a bed in the print mill is only left to right. That's it.
It's a little bit more than that. Not just left to right, but there's also plates that are under the mill that have to be adjusted by little wheels.
Well, the wheels are adjusted to do tension on the belt, right?
No, they're actually tension to raise or lower the plate that's under the mill.
I'll be right back.
On the mill, later, Jerry. So on the mill itself, you have the treadmill part. Then you have 2 plates. One's in the front, one's in the back.
Well, yeah, the ones at the back is the cold bed. The one in the front is the heated bed. That's the one you do. That's what you do your leveling with.
Exactly, but you have to make sure. But if one side does not level properly, like the other side does, then you have to manually figure out how to level it properly, because it can be off by 2 to 4 millimeters, and that can screw up a print.
Oh yeah, if you're even half a millimeter will destroy a print.
Exactly. So now I got to go print a part so I can put this. I forget what they call them now. The what do you call it? The tool that actually can tell you if you're level or not.
Feeler gauges.
Feeler gauge, yeah. So I got to put a feeler gauge on the printer and see if I can level it out properly.
Yeah.
Pain in the.
But and the one thing I find about them is, if you're printing really long parts, I see the need for it. Now, I personally would not have a need for that, but I see a need for it, right? For cosplay people or people who are doing, want to kick off a print and walk away and just sort of dump, print over after going through, right?
Definitely for us also, because what we are doing right now, we are using these machines for prototyping a lot of new equipment that's going on from my workplace. I can't really talk about it because it's work. But we also print a lot of our 3D printed parts for the mills that we build. Like we build CNC mills. That's what we do. And for the CNC machines, we use some printed parts because it's just easier to use printed parts than it is for us to use and wait for them to come back for the metal shop because they're such specifically.
Yeah, but you
shaped.
3D print it, you can use it for prototyping to make sure everything fits right. Then you send it off to be machined.
Not all of it. A lot of it's still 3D printed.
Okay.
But the idea is that we can easily prototype stuff right away if we need to and fix parts right away. The company I'm working for, they sell a lot of CNC machines. And we go through about 30 of them a day, I think, get sold out.
Oh, that's a lot. Are these big 5-axis CNCs, or are they desktop CNCs, or what are they?
We do desktop, and we do like a long mill style desktop.
Okay.
CNC machines.
So what are they? 3040s or 4060s, or what are they?
I forget. Let me just have a look. Because I'm not in part of the sales part of it. I'm just the builder.
Well, I have a 3080 here. At some point, I'm going to probably build a larger CNC. I'll probably just buy the extrusion and build it myself. But I was just wondering what the type of machines you offer. I don't want anything huge. I don't need it to mill, or something like CNC, something the size of a A4 sheet of ply,
Yeah, so we can scale it from 12 by 12, 12 by 30, and 30 by 30.
Okay. Here, Design, how are you? So 30 by 30 is a desktop design again, right?
Yeah, so
that's a good size.
You need. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and now that's millimeters, right?
I believe that's millimeters.
It's centimeters.
We'll check.
It's probably centimeters.
Yeah, it's in centimeters. My mistake. Sorry.
Yeah, because I have a 3018 is what I have. It was actually a beta machine that I was testing. And it's a nice little machine, actually. It'll be coming out pretty soon, I believe.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I may have some more coming in the next few weeks from the same company that are lasers and maybe printers as well. But
go on. Yeah, one of the neat little things that we just launched is a laser for the mill.
So what are you using, diode lasers?
From what I know, it's a diode laser, yes.
Do you know what power they are?
Not off by hand, no. But we just, like I said, we just started the launch of that.
Okay, they're probably up to most diode lasers. If you have a diode, if it's a single diode, hey Gary, how are you? A single diode can go up to about 20 watts input, 5.5, 6 watts out. After that, you need to either double up on the amount of some companies. They put in more laser beams, more laser heads through a prism to get a single beam out. That increases its power. Or you have to go to a different type of light. So it's not going to be a normal UV laser. It'll go into the infrared, or it'll go into something else, or you go CO2 lasers, or that by gas powered lasers.
Yeah, and that's I don't know what we're using right now, to be honest, because like I said,
I'm saying if it's going to a CNC machine, it's a diode. Change
Yeah.
that's a diode laser.
That's what I've been told. It's a diode. So
Yeah.
because they did say if something goes wrong, we just burn up the diode. We just get
Hey,
rid of it.
Gary T. Good to
Well,
be back.
actually, you have to replace the whole head. The whole unit has to be dumped, and we buy a new one.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how they're doing it, but that's what I was told. So
No, only public speaking I've ever done was been in the military giving orders, but no, people say I should be on radio or something like that. But
Now we know
you
why
got
he's
that nice voice. I could work for that.
Now we know. Well, now we know why he's always grumpy because he used to be. What were you, an NCO?
yes,
What
I was
rank?
Navy SEAL.
You're a SEAL.
Yes.
Okay, so
Petty
that's
officer,
why. That's
grade
why.
five, SEAL
Because they're
3.
never happy. Those guys never smile. If they smile, see,
You're
the
pretty
Navy
much
SEAls
right.
never smile because if they smile, their face will crack.
Yeah. Well, I mean, why would I want people to think? Why would I want people to think I'm nice? You
Yeah,
know?
stone face. Their face will crack if they smile.
See, to be one of our brothers, you gotta. It's the right kind of crazy.
Yeah.
You know, there's a bad kind of crazy. We're the right kind of crazy. So.
You know what? If you set up a channel talking about the challenges that you have experienced in not in your military career, but since you became disabled,
My psychiatrist
people would watch that.
My psychiatrist wants me to write a book. So I have to have a psychiatrist come from the VA. My psychol rep wants me to write a book. My VA rep wants me to write a book. My brother and my nephew want me to write the book. I'm like, Christ, man. I'd have to get Dragon. So I can just speak it to the machine and does stuff for myself and then send it off to somebody to have them edit everything.
What you should do, where is it? I don't have it here, but I have a voice recorder that's actually very good. It's made by a company called Zoom.
Yeah.
H4N. That thing you could record everything you want to do, put marks on your files, and send it off to an editor, and they don't know what to do with it.
Well, you should. But as I said, if you did like a video blog about it as well, like you do an update on it each day and so on, people would watch that. People would follow that. It'd be popular. And then the people you interact with and the issues you come across, like if you get a contractor over to the house to do something or whatever, and you're allowed to record them, right? So you could start dealing with them, and if you run into issues, you could have a whole thing all about the challenges of your life. So you could talk a little bit about your past, and then talk about ever since you've been injured, what life has been like and the challenges you have to overcome, and people would watch that. People would actually follow that.
Yeah, I could see it if it's people who have just been diagnosed with ALS or in that form of people like that watching, because a lot of times I don't really talk about it a lot. I try not to because I live it every single day, and I'm not trying to get sympathy from everybody. There are people who will pass in 6 months. I have people in my ALS class that have had it for the last 12 to 15 years.
I know.
I mean, medications are getting better, treatment's getting better. But there is no cure for us. We're actually considered to be basically the bastard children of the medical field. On average, there's only 30,000 of us in the U.S. alone with ALS per year. We die out so quickly. And there's no cure for us, and there's not a lot of research. It just, like the hospice company told my son when he came up, when I was in the hospital, I spent 9 days in the hospital. And they told him, there's nothing we can do for your dad. All we can do is keep him comfortable until he dies. And
that's a scary conversation.
Yeah. You don't understand, man. Well, Jerry's seen me fall asleep on his stream. So,
yeah.
I got some pretty powerful drugs. So that's why if I'm going to come on, I'll cut stuff in half. So I'm not all loopy and falling asleep like I did with Jerry. So, and then by the time we're done, it's ready for me to hop in the bed.
I'm just telling you, you should do a video blog about that, about your life and stuff like that, about the challenge you experience on a day-to-day basis when you go about stuff, where you have the things you have problems doing, the things you need help doing. Like people would watch that. That would become popular on YouTube.
Yeah, that's a heck of an idea. See, what I'm waiting for now, I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch, but whatever money I get, I'm gonna put it on a house for me and Brody.
Yeah, but see that?
That's
He's
big.
right, by the way.
It has to be at least minimum 2 rooms. Like to have 3, but minimum 2 room. Has to be a ranch style home. My biggest problem is here in Indiana, the bathrooms are all so small.
Oh yeah, you need wider doors and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. That's the reason why I don't have a house now.
We get a 3-bedroom house.
I can't get my chair in the bathroom to maneuver around and stuff like that.
What you do is you get a 3-bedroom house and turn one of the bedrooms into the bathroom. So
yeah,
you have a house that's backed onto a bathroom, then you just have to get them to plummet across the other side of the wall.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. So that's why I would like to have a 3-bedroom, so I can just use that to access the bathroom and everything else, stuff like that. Yeah. So, but I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch. So
I know, but still,
but
you should still let me. Jerry's trying to show his new camera. His new fancy camera.
No, I'm not. I'm just messing around. But
yeah, we want to see it anyway because we you put it out there and you recommend it to people.
The other one right here, the close-up cam. It's on an arm. I'll show you the camera here in a minute. But yeah, this is the one I got. So when I do prints, look at all the junk down there. See, I'm not very organized.
Too many Amazon boxes, Jerry.
That's just anyway, I've done a lot of moving around. I never did finish putting stuff away. So
yeah, what I do is when something comes in from Amazon, I open the box, I take it out, and I walk straight out to my trash can and I put away the box into the trash can.
Look at that counter. Look how messy that is. It's ridiculous.
You think that's bad? You should see my desk.
Yeah,
that actually okay.
Here's my resin room right here. That's cool. This camera, I can easily move it around and show you. There's my Elegoo and my Mighty 4K and the Anycubic.
And then nice painting area too.
There's a K40 over there. You see the blue.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's only one power plug in underneath where the resin printer darts.
It's recycled.
Anyway.
It goes into we have recycling bins here, so it goes into the recycling bin. I just call it all trash. I don't throw it out with the normal waste. It goes into a recycling bin. Don't hate on me over a mispronunciation.
When I want to watch TV, I got it right there. I got my cameras out front, and one of my cameras isn't working right now.
Cool. Nice setup.
Yeah, then here's all the cameras.
Hey, Marcus.
Work on stuff. See the stuff everywhere.
I've heard that before, Jesse Foreman, about people with depression.
Here's my main computer I brought in here. I built like 4 or 5 years ago. Cost like $4,000 to build with this monitor right there. But now, of course, it ain't worth that. But anyway.
Actually, it probably is still worth that because of the chip shortage right now.
Hey, Marcus, how's it going?
I know we take paper, we take all of that. All guys do.
Here's that webcam. It's on sale right now on Amazon.
Hey, Justin, welcome back.
$59.99, normally $89.99. That's a light on it. You can zoom in, zoom out. You know, if you're doing your DeWitt Tim and Tripod use these all the time in their live streams, or when they're doing videos for filming different things close up. That's really cool. I was going to buy one, and then the company got back with me. They go, "Oh, we'll send you one." So cool. I canceled my order, and then I got the one. Now, if years ago I was just buying webcams for the first time for all my printers, I would have rather have had these where I could position all of them instead of buying. I think I got C220s on all my printers. Then I got the 970 here on the tripod for close-ups, but this will be my new close-up camera.
Nice.
So
I have, a company reached out to me, a Chinese company.
There you go, tripod. If you're watching, there's an upskirt camera. Anyway,
so tripod needs to build a droid and put that on it.
That's actually illegal now here in the UK.
What's illegal?
I don't know. Upskirting.
Oh yeah, that kind of stuff's always been illegal. Yeah.
No, not always. Here in the UK, since I think a couple of years ago, it used to be legal. So I saw people actually out in the street doing that, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You know, and I'm pointing it out to the woman what he was doing, and we called the cops, and then the cops wouldn't do nothing. That's crap. You know, sorry, but it's another story.
You have to explain yourself, Ron, when you said Philly.
Yeah, no, I meant to say finally.
Ah.
That was a mistake.
Not only is he Canadian, he can't spell.
No, I can spell. I just can't type well. There's a difference.
You know we love you. We're just giving you a hard time because we like you, right?
Are you sure about that? Usually it's the opposite way around.
Let
Usually
me
when
think
people give
about
you a
it.
hard time because they hate you.
Maybe I got it wrong. We have room for one more. I only can have 6 in here.
Yeah, come on, Justin, get your butt in here.
If somebody else wants to join.
Yeah, I got to go eat dinner shortly, but I'll stick around for a little bit.
Oh, okay. Damn Canadians and their mayo. Even Justin's giving you a hard time now. That's funny.
They eat mayo on the chips like we do here.
Oh,
in
I love
England.
that. Mayonnaise with chips are like in America, chips are potato chips. So with fries is what they call them over here.
Okay, you guys have to have real
Sorry to hear
poutine,
that.
though. If you haven't had it yet,
Sorry to hear that.
Had what?
real poutine. So you
Yeah.
gotta get yourself some cheese curds, some gravy, put fries, and your cheese curds, put gravy on top of it, mix it all up.
Somebody in Canada, I forget his name, 3D print, one of my friends online here, he might even be in chat.
Oh.
He sent me some Smarties from the UK, which we call Smarties. You guys call them rockets. And then I said that these are our Smarties, which are individual little like sweethearts in a pack. And I showed him ours. He goes, no, those are called M&Ms here.
Really?
Well,
we call them rockets over here.
We
Yeah,
have
well,
M&Ms
it's made by a
and
company called
Smarties.
Rocket.
When I said those are called Smarties, and I showed him a Smartie, he says, well, we call Smarties. He showed me what looked like a pack of M&Ms. And I said Smarties
Yeah.
in front of it.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
have-
it's in
that's
the-
what we
in the
have.
cardboard
Smarties,
box,
yeah.
So,
They're a little different from M&Ms. The
Different
flavoring
company,
is.
yeah.
okay.
They're more of a
They melt in
Hey.
your mouth, not in your hand.
yeah.
Well, Smarties they're very like M&Ms. The manufacturer's different. The chocolate tastes different.
Okay.
Actually, the chocolate tastes better than M&Ms. It's a nicer chocolate. No offense to everybody here. As you know, I'm not a local. I'm not from the States, but Cadbury chocolate is way better than the the stuff you get here.
No, I'm sorry.
can
Milka
buy
or Ritter
Cadbury here.
Sport.
Sorry,
Milka or Ritter Sport.
Milka is okay. The German chocolate is quite good.
I've had German
Milk
chocolate
is
my
great.
brother's given me. His neighbors from her husband and his neighbors from Germany, and the husband sends the wife, I guess, chocolate all the time. She gives it to my brother. He gives it to me from Germany. Really good chocolate.
Yeah, the chocolate in Smarties is nicer. It's a milk chocolate. It's M&M's has got it's a different type of chocolate, and it's got an aftertaste. Smarties don't have an aftertaste.
One thing I
Cadbury
did
chocolate
find
doesn't have an
with-
aftertaste.
What I found with the newer, like I noticed Smarties actually changed the recipe a little bit more. So the candy coating that they use around it is not as nice as it used to be
On which
on Smarties. They recently changed
Maybe
it about
here,
last
I
2
bet
years.
in the UK, if you buy it in Europe, in Ireland or UK, it's the same.
Weird because I know that Nestle out here imports them from the UK, and I've noticed that there was a difference.
Those candy bars they sell at the schools that they used to sell for $1, World's Finest Chocolate. They
Those
had
are great.
almond bars, and they got a coupon on the back for like Pizza Hut or Carl's Jr. They changed their mix or something. They're a lot smaller. They're different. They're not as good.
Oh,
They used to be really big and long. You know, you buy them for $1 a piece.
Yeah.
Years ago, I bought a case from a guy, and he went and got up. He went home and he got them from his son or his daughter. He brought the case to work, and it's like, no, I wanted them with the Carl's Jr. coupon on the back, not Pizza Hut. So I had him take them back to return to the school and get the correct box. So I wanted like, I don't know, however many was in a case, like 50 of them or something.
Yeah, it's like the other thing is like, now I'm not a drinker, but when you buy stuff in different countries, because in most cases they make it locally, the flavor of stuff changes because of that. Hello, can you hear me?
yeah, well, you hear, yeah.
Okay, I heard.
yeah.
the
I'm just
beep.
reading. I'm just reading what.
Yeah, I know. I
Brand
heard the
design
beep
said.
that someone was coming in, and there is somebody here. I knew it. Sorry, you were.
Hey,
I
what's
had to
going
scroll
on?
down to find you, Marcus.
How you doing?
I heard the beep, so I didn't keep you waiting long. So yeah, so like we say in Ireland, like that Guinness gets seasick when you transport it overseas, the flavor changes. Even if it's made in Ireland, because it's transported, it does change. The flavor does. But stuff that's made here does not taste anywhere even close to the stuff over in Ireland. They're completely different.
Here we go, Marcus. No, good. You don't have to make me big. I got to come.
Oh, you have to show your hair to him. He's going to be jealous.
I've seen it. I said get the sword out. Someone else said get the guitar out. I've seen it. It looks pretty cool.
It does. But it does change because they start using local water and all this kind of stuff to make stuff. Totally changes the flavor of stuff.
Yeah.
I like there's in Myers here, they actually buy stuff in from Europe, like from Spain and from the UK and so on, and it tastes the same. But if you go to the local stores and you buy it, completely different taste. Yeah, it's weird.
What's new, Marcus? How's your son doing?
He's doing good. If you see my latest post on Twitter, you'll see what I just scanned him again as part of a demo for the new feature in the app. But so he was
that's the okay.
And you can see from his expression he wasn't too super happy with it.
Oh, he's getting into that age.
No, he was in the middle of playing a video game, but
oh, how dare you interrupt his
How
video
dare
game
you
play.
interrupt video games? Yeah.
Man, I know. I have a 14-year-old. You try and tame her away from the video game, is you swear his world is ending.
Yeah, I think my son was 15 or 16 when I had to call Metro on him. He wouldn't get off a game he'd been playing like all night or something.
Really?
I don't remember. He was in a raid or something. I had my girlfriend at the time call Metro because I was getting physical with him and it was kind of getting carried away. And then when Metro came out, that didn't go too well for him. My son listens to me. He'll be in a mood, but he'll listen. He doesn't have a choice. He's a good kid. He's a really good kid. He might hum and haw about doing something, but once you get him started, he'll just stick it and get it done. As all teenagers, they don't like to do something that's not theirs. But the moment you put them onto it, like you have to ask him to mow the lawn. I'll do it later. No, get it done now, so then you can have free time on your computer later on. And he'll hum and haw about it, but he'll do it, and he'll do a good job of it, and he'll finish it, and he'll finish it right. So it's okay to deal with the humming and hawing as long as it gets it done. That's the way I see it.
So the video games are a little bit of reward. Like if they get all their schoolwork done, then they can play video games for like an hour, and so that's the incentive to get their schoolwork before it gets too late. But actually, I remember now he wasn't upset about the video game. He was out there a minute ago, and he got bit. I think it was a mosquito. We don't know, but he just didn't want to be out there at the moment.
I sure hope you didn't buy him another one, Loopy. Make him earn the money and buy his own.
Oh yeah, if someone smashed the TV, he wouldn't be getting a replacement. That's the way I see it. If you get a tantrum, you smash something up, it's gone.
I think when kids misbehave, instead of getting a smartphone, why not give them a banana phone?
Banana phone. Oh, good Lord.
Yes, that's a new type of smartphone.
Actually,
Well, you think that will run your iOS program?
I've seen the apple, not the banana.
Yeah, called not Apple or iPhone. Called iBanana. Yeah.
Actually, my son can speak.
That's just bananas.
I know.
He can speak English.
Has anybody seen Yoav in chat? I wonder how he's doing in Israel.
I haven't seen him in chat tonight.
Last Friday, he was talking about having to go to a bomb shelter. There's all the crap going on over there, so I hope he's okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in the chat. So, my son he speaks primarily English. He speaks some Spanish. He's pretty good at Spanish, actually. He knows some words in Gaelic, and he knows some in Tagalog. My wife is Filipino, so he knows some parts of Tagalog as well. But English and Spanish are the strongest.
You talk about the kids with their games and their computers. My son Dakota, he was probably, 6 or 7, and he didn't know what a router was. And this was when it wasn't a Wi-Fi router; it was all Ethernet, and it was on the desk at the end of my bed. And I'd be watching my TV, mounted on the wall. And I'd be sitting there, and he'd sneak out of bed and go turn on the computer in his room, and then lights would light up on the router. Like, Dakota, go back to bed. You hear him stomping, running across the little feet running across the floor, hopping back a bit. You can never figure out how I caught him all the time.
Well, kids don't think that we used to be kids. We were just magically adults, and we don't know all this stuff.
Oh, yeah. I actually, my little guy looks. He is. He's a straight honors student, so he's doing really good. He's only went into 9th grade this year. He's done fantastic all year long. He's done really, really good. And I hope he maintains it for the next 3 years in high school because he can pick his choice of colleges then. But he's been doing really, really good in school. He's been, like, I think the lowest score he has is 94.5 is the lowest, or something like that, 94.7.
I done great in 9th grade. Then I started driving. I was working, and I was driving to high school, vocational school. I was going to take refrigeration, but since I had a car, my new friends decided, hey, let's ditch. Let's go to the lake. Let's do this. Let's do that. And at the end of the year, they said, I'm sorry, Mr. Knapp, you're not coming back here next year. Go re-register for another school. I want him getting a GED, and never did.
Well,
and that's a shame that after 10 years of your life in school, you throw away the last 2 years.
That will not be happening.
So
that will not be happening. I can guarantee you.
My dad passed away when I was 17, and I was almost 18. That was kind of my choice. So,
well, he's. I don't know if you're talking about this street because he's smarter than I am. I'm happy to admit that. But his sister's already qualified. She's already graduated college. She's got her master's degree. So. He's the baby of the house, so he's probably going to follow. He's going to be smart. He's a smart kid, and he got his head screwed on. So as long as he keeps it screwed on, he'll do well.
And I get a new truck in 5 years if I'm still here. So hopefully I will be.
Well, you'll be here because you'll be showing us how to print bigger droids.
Yeah, I hope. I want to live to be 90 to 100. I hope, but you never know. My dad passed away at 57. 2 of his brothers died at 57. But my sister is 68, and my brother is 65. So
you will be here when Las Vegas will be gone.
Yeah.
Jerry will be the whole. I'm not giving up
while.
my home in Vegas.
Yeah,
Well,
Jerry,
doesn't exist anymore. I'm still.
Jerry, you can't destroy it. Jerry's
And
invincible.
if my YouTube channel would grow and I would get more people actually watch my videos, I would keep making them. But it gets very frustrating when you look at your numbers and you spend so much time doing certain things, and then after a month or so, you're like, wow. All of you here know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but that's
depressing.
I check my numbers once a month, and that's it. Or I see a new subscriber coming in every now and again. That I don't go actually really. I think I'm 1 or 360 or something like that, somewhere around there. I know you're trying to get to a number for a giveaway, and guys, everybody out there shares Jerry's channel to all of your friends. Please get the word out.
I'm at 2370, Marcus. I still got probably 2 or 3 more months. And Matt.
So. Yeah, but it's
I'll be here.
I know, but it's I don't bother with the numbers. Like if people want to deal with me to help me do reviews and stuff, I'll talk with them. I'll explain to them. But
the numbers don't mean nothing. And here's an example. If I got, say, almost 2,400 people sub to me, when I do a live stream or Hangout, I get 25 or 30 people.
Yeah.
That's normally what it is. It's actually 10% of your full audience will only be the ones that will watch. It's an honest thing. It happens to all of us.
Look at Joe Telling. Yeah. Joe Telling has almost 500,000 followers, right?
Yeah.
He gets 500
to 1,000 people
on his streams.
Yeah.
So that's normal. You always get a tiny percentage of them. Yeah. And when I do a live unboxing, I've had 40 people on a live unboxing.
Well, outside of 3D printing, if you look at food or any other subject, NASA, SpaceX, anything, look at when they put out a video and a half hour later, it's like 10 million people.
Yeah, but
like, wow.
The difference is they are paying a company to manage their system, to push it. They are paying for advertising. And when they started out and they grew really fast, and they got so big so fast that people who have subscribed to them, now it just daisy chains after that, right?
I didn't know you could pay people to advertise for you to help push your company.
Oh yeah, you can.
You can do boosts for your stream. You can push the links into Twitter. You can push the links out to Facebook.
I share it to Facebook, and Twitter every time I do something.
Have you tried
do I.
also throwing it out on? If you're streaming to Facebook and you're streaming to, are you also streaming to YouTube or Twitch?
I try not to stream to Facebook because I want people to come to YouTube so I get the view hours and they watch it and give me a thumbs up. I used
Try
to
throwing it on Twitch because sometimes you'll get a lot of Twitch viewers will then find you on YouTube.
Yeah, I've never tried Twitch. I have a membership there, whatever you call it, but I've never tried to stream there.
I would definitely give a shot that you like if you have the ability to do a dual stream, just do a live dual stream and see what type of activity you get back from Twitch, because I've done it a couple times and I found my Twitch numbers actually rotated back to the to my YouTube channel because people were like, "Oh, you have more content on YouTube? I'll go check it out."
Okay.
And it has worked out to be like 4 or 5 new subs whenever I have a few people watching. I go, "Yeah, I do my gaming on Twitch, but I also do a lot of 3D printing on Facebook, on on YouTube." And they go, "Oh, I'll go check you out then," and usually ends up as a subscriber or two. So
I'm not on Twitch. A lot of people are saying, what's it called again? My brain.
TikTok?
Sorry,
TikTok?
no, not TikTok. No.
Yeah, Dan posted something a few weeks ago, and I started watching videos. I actually watched them for like a half hour. It's like, that was interesting. That was cool. That was funny. They're all staged, but most of them are funny. Most of them.
Yeah. Discord,
Got a
apparently.
delivery.
Oh, you got a delivery. He's got more Amazon boxes coming.
it seems to be the game. It's like anyone that's into
Discord is a big area apparently, because that draws people into your streams. Because a lot of people like Discord.
The thing is, there's too many. Problem is, there's too many Discords. Like, do you, if you want to have something to share, are you going to go and post it to every Discord that you're a member?
No,
of?
you share it on your Discord channel, and then you advertise it.
Oh, no one's going to see it there.
Well, that's why you
says
advertise
he's on
you got
Twitch
one and
just to
and
watch
invite
the
people to
print
join.
stuff.
Okay, I'm not on Twitch. I might consider looking at it, but I'm not on Twitch.
I'll be dual streaming this Saturday on Twitch and on Facebook.
What do you
Or
how
Twitch
do you
and
stream?
on YouTube when I do my unboxing of the Ender 5.
What do you use for your dual streaming?
I use StreamYard.
Okay, yeah.
And then I use OBS on top of StreamYard.
I think subscriptions are
I
hard
wish
because
StreamYard would give us 1080p for $25 a month. You know, they can kick up their $40 a month people to 4K or something.
We're all going to be nosy to see what Jerry got.
Oh, I shouldn't have done that.
It's peanuts.
No, well, yeah, something like that.
They're all foam, yeah.
I opened it wrong. It's probably motors for the droid. Some of these motors I ordered for the BR Brew 2U, the droid that I'm working on. They spend, once I went to Mr. B's page where he talk about, what to buy, this and that, and I ordered them. I didn't pay attention whether they spend 360 or they're 180. And originally the two motors down here, I had 360. So when I turned the knob to raise this, it kept going, and I would have broke the arm. So I took some different ones I had and had to swap them out. So these should be 2 more.
Yeah, that stream of the V Minion, that's going to be in about 2 months' time, because that's when they said they were going to be sending it to you. I'd like to see that. That looks like a nice little printer. Hey,
Viking!
How are you, man?
How you doing, Viking?
We got the Viking in the house. Woo!
Yeah, Viking, if you want to come in, I go out and come in back later.
I got 2 more motors.
Cool.
So these should only turn 180 because the droid's driving, he pulls his levers back, right? Well, you don't want those to turn 360 or it's not going to work. They only got to go so far.
He'd be like doing a train.
Yeah.
Needs to be that long.
And that's why when I painted this body, I wound up painting it yellow and it's really rough. I done some sanding on it. And I'm leaving it rough and kind of crappy look because that's the look that I want.
Mine is printing, so I haven't done it. I have the sides, the front part, the sides, the main back part of the body. I haven't done the undercarriage yet. I have to do that in 2 pieces, but I will be doing it in the next few days. I'll be getting more of it done.
I got to check to make sure these don't turn 360.
Yeah, a live unboxing is it'll be
good. They stop.
Yeah.
So these are the right ones.
It'll be about 2 months, they said, before they're ready to release the printer. And you should be looking at maybe 2 to 3 hours for the stream anyway to do the unboxing. I see it could only take an hour to do the printer, but you want to do the first print, and that takes more time than assembling the printer in most cases.
I contacted Prusa 2 weeks ago. I chatted with them, and they said my printer that I've already been waiting on 8 weeks for, which is supposed to be 16 weeks, they said they're going to ship it in a week or two. Well, I contacted them again today, and they said, oh, it's still going to be another week or two. So it looks like they're just telling me the same old thing over and over.
Yeah.
So, but I knew that when I got the kit, it was going to be 16 weeks. So I just got to wait, 6 more weeks at least. So, and then I can do a live unboxing, building the kit, not
Which
the
one
one where
did
you
you
put 3 bolts in.
The
Did you
Prusa.
get the MK3 or did you get the mini?
The mini kit, that's $50 cheaper than the regular mini kit, but you got to put everything together. It comes, you got to wait 16 weeks to get it instead of 4 weeks
Jeez.
to save $50. They charge you, you save money, but you got to wait 16 weeks, which is crazy.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
4 times longer.
So I think everything other than the 5015 fan is probably going to be in pieces. And then I'll just find somebody in the community that already has a couple Prusa minis or Prusas, and they can come on my stream and they can talk to chat while they're talking to me, and I can concentrate on building. Because if I build and talk to chat, it's never going to get done.
Talk to Dan, DV3D.
Yeah, Dan or Bob. Oh, Bob Carnes has a bunch of Prusas, but I don't talk to him.
Also, Lloyd Mosley. Is it Lloyd Mosley? I think is his name.
Moses isn't going to come on a live stream.
Lloyd,
Okay.
he's never jumped on anyone's stream.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. I
He's
think
been invited to mine. He's been invited to Jerry's.
Yeah.
He's always
everybody's
come with
invited.
Joe Telling, and he's never been on his stream.
Yeah, he'll probably be on Joel's one of these days.
Probably.
oh, there you go. Get Joel to come on.
What do you mean by UAPs? I'm not sure what you mean by UAPs. Can you please explain? In the past, Bruce Mini is hard to complete the minion kit though. Okay.
I think he's been in UFOs.
I think, yeah, well, yeah. Oh, you're at the girlfriend's place, and she's sleeping right next to me. Well, you should be on with us.
Like next to ask her printer views hours will go up.
And I'll probably get sanctioned as well by YouTube. But yeah, it's let me take you off. So to explain what you mean by UAPs, please. What's a UAP? Explain it to me. You're saying it's all unidentified aerial phenomena. Okay. All right, I've never. All right. So yes, the military have released stuff. Lots of people have released stuff like about video recordings, and there's been a mandate about it. That's why they're openly talking about it. But nobody still knows what it is, right? So it could be a drone. It could be whatever. It could be a natural phenomenon that we haven't seen. Nobody.
Talking about on Mars?
No, they're talking about you. They're not about here on Earth.
On Mars,
Yeah,
the rover, a
there's
couple days ago, they
there's
posted a video. The rover was looking up in the air, and there was an object on Mars up in the air, and NASA wouldn't say what they thought it was. Other people are speculating that what it might have been.
It's probably our drone. The
No.
NASA,
It wasn't the NASA drone. It was some other kind of a larger
I
object.
didn't see that. I didn't see that image.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you
Hey,
think about Bob Lazar?
Maybe we're not alone.
We're not, of course, we're not alone. There's 100 zillion planets. Of course, we're not alone.
Yeah, of course.
Anybody that thinks that we're the only people anywhere in existence is a complete effing idiot. So, and then
Anyway, that believes that we're the only
You're
people.
completely right about that, Jerry.
Be boring.
So,
Well,
Liam, do you-
we're a speck of the. Our universe, our solar system is a speck of sand in the Sahara Desert. They look at it that way.
Yeah.
so Marcus, what were you saying?
what do you think about Bob Lazar? Have you seen any of the stuff he said?
No.
Yeah, I've seen some of the stuff on Bob Lazar.
Who is
It
he?
was kind of funny. It was kind of funny with Bob Lazar is that when he made this, what did he come out in like 1989, something like that, with all the stuff about him working at Area 51 and Sector 4.
Yeah.
He said that they had an element, and it was a strange element, and then just like in the last
this
2
the guy
years,
says he thinks he worked for. They say he worked for NASA.
He went to MIT and some other place, but he worked at Area 51 in a section called Sector 4. But he was, even in the 89 stuff that he was bringing out, he said they had got a new element from one of the spacecraft or whatever else. And this, in the last like 2 to 3 years, they put that new element on the periodic table. They just said to come up with it. So he had to talk about it years ago, and now they're saying they come up with it three years ago, and they finally put it on the periodic table.
Oh, your son's on.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, Ethan, how are you?
Hey, Ethan.
So, okay.
That's it.
All right. Okay. Science hat's going on.
114.
Well, it's always on, but science hat, right? The fact that we don't know what it is, why speculate, first of all? He's had no evidence. Let me put it this way. If you look at the amount of people who say they've been abducted by aliens, one, they're never from cities.
No.
They're always from podunk nowhere in the back end of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
They're at the end of the road that nowhere forgot, right? That's where they come from, right? Low education. I'm not saying that they're dumb. I'm saying they may not be able to comprehend what they saw because they hadn't the education to think of it in that manner, right? And on top of all of that, and let's put it this way. I like the way that Neil deGrasse Tyson put it in a nice way. He said, if you were abducted on an alien ship and you were on a table and you were awake when they're doing experiments on you, he says, how hard would it be to reach over and stick something in your pocket so you have proof that it was there? Grab an ashtray and stick it in your pocket. He said the very words ashtray. He said, grab an ashtray and stick it in your pocket and hide it. So when you get returned, you have an alien ashtray and we can find out that it's really alien. We can analyze it. He said, there is no reason why you can't bring back proof. He said, the fact that nobody ever has shows that I'm open-minded about the possibilities, but you can't prove it. It never happened. Right?
Yeah,
It comes down to, right?
You guys want to hear a bad joke?
Park out in the desert for about a month, just me and the dog, and hopefully we get abducted. I'll bring you back an ashtray.
Hey, Victor, how are you?
You know, aliens
Hey,
are
Victor.
known for butt probing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Oh no, never mind.
Go on.
Never mind. I don't want to be abducted. Never mind.
You know
I
why
gotta
they
jump.
do that?
See,
To harvest our forts.
There, everybody.
Who
Got
said
it?
who's leaving?
I am.
Oh,
Yeah, the Canadian's leaving you guys.
okay.
I said
Oh,
something
come
wrong.
on,
I'm
come in
sorry.
there,
Wrong.
Canadian.
Yeah, that's right. Convention can come in and replace me.
All right,
Okay.
Ryan, take care.
How's it going?
Take care.
Bye. So,
I seen some people on Facebook the other day. I'm looking for it. It was 3 people. There was their mug shots, and they all look like aliens. From hillbilly looking, funny looking people, the really long, narrow faces. You guys probably seen that on Facebook. Pretty hilarious.
okay, I didn't say Tyson's a be all and end all. He's a smart man. He's great in front of crowds. He's really good at delivering a message. I've seen him speak, and I will say that there's a lot to his point. Like the fact that they say that they saw a UFO and they were abducted by aliens, that immediately negates the first thing they said. Are you doing sign language to us now, Dave? He's doing this to the camera. Are you doing sign language? So the fact that I was abducted by aliens in a UFO, first of all, it's no longer a UFO because it was an alien craft. Because the U stands for unidentified. So you can't call it a UFO anymore. Right? It's now identified.
Yeah,
so
aliens.
as an alien craft that's a UFO, they don't exist because it's either not or is identified, right? The other thing is, I'm trying to keep up with chat, but it's kind of going busy. We know from our present understanding of technology, right? We know what it takes to go from point A to point B in space. We know what we can and can't do with our technology. We know where the limits are. On top of all of that, we have the theory to show what is required. That's good. We have the theory to show what is required to get there because we understand that. Right? We know the science. Now,
Thank you, Gary.
And then to double up on top of that, knowing what's involved makes what they're saying very, very hard to do. We're not saying it's impossible. It's extremely difficult to do that, to travel interstellarly between stars, right? Now, and on top of all of that, again, there are so many people watching the night sky every night of the week. Not only professionals, but amateurs out there who are watching the skies and watching space every night of the week. Amateurs find stuff, professionals don't do it. We find it first. So there is absolutely the chances of something appearing in the night sky and not being spotted by somebody is extremely slim. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying it's extremely slim.
Hey, you old people in chat, for about a month now, this little finger's been killing me. I took a battery out of my truck, took it to AutoZone, I carried it in, replaced the battery. I normally don't have things that hurt, but this has just been killing me for like a month. It's just arthritis, I guess.
It could be.
So, I don't know.
But you're not that old.
I don't think I'm that old. I'll be 57 in, 2 weeks?
You got diabetes?
No.
And that's a good statement, Dominic. Yeah. A theory that can be proposed without evidence can be dismissed without it as well. You are very correct.
You may have sprained it, Jerry.
Yeah, something.
Maybe you did. Maybe you did the Michael move and you did a karate chop to put something in place.
Yeah. I got.
So Marcus, can I take an old iPhone? This is like a 7, and can I just download? Can I download my all my information from the cloud and go ahead and use this with my 12 to do my scans?
All you need on the old phone is the standalone EM3D Mirror Saver app, because you can't. EM3D requires iOS 13 or above, so that's why I made a standalone. Okay. That's why I made a standalone EM3D Mirror Saver app.
Okay.
And you just need that on your old phone.
I thought it was 10 or above. We've been saying in the past.
Oh, that's the iPhone version. I'm saying the operating system version.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. You're correct, Kit.
Yeah. So for the devices would be the Mirror Saver works on iPhone 5. So the iPhone 5s and up can use the Mirror Saver app. And then iPhone 10, well, probably iPhone SE and up can at least install.
Saver app talk to your app?
Yep.
Okay.
And I literally I copied the code for the Mirror Saver feature out of EM3D and pasted it in a new project and uploaded that as the Mirror Saver app.
When will that be an update on the app?
So if you have EM3D version 1.4.0, which was just released today, that's the version of EM3D you need, and then you just need to find the Mirror Saver app in the App Store. I was able to search for it and find it in the App Store.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I want to talk a bit more science, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is Ethan on the line? Is Ethan still here? Ethan, are you still in chat? Because I know you like science, and I'm a serious nerd, so we can talk science a little bit. I don't know if he's in chat or not. He hasn't answered.
Watch Marcus mute his mic and scream across the house.
Or bring him into the room. Drag him into the room with you. Say, Kit, not production models, but there is flying cars, not production models. You are right. They're more like airplanes, but they do exist today. And there is actually quadcopter-like style cars as well, with like a drone that are available today.
I haven't tested those settings on the CR10 Max yet, Dave, because my build volume is 450 on the Max, and I need it to be 470. So I'm trying to get timing machines to modify their hex file and send it to me so I can update the firmware on it so I can utilize every inch of the bed that way I can actually print the dome. So I tried to print it the other day, and when it gets to each side, it cuts it off. The firmware is set to 450, and my slicer is set to 470, but I've got to modify the firmware.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, Ethan,
Ethan,
how are you?
how you doing? What's up, dude?
Can you hear us?
Hi. Yes,
Hi.
I can.
So, your dad tells us you're into science.
What?
You're into science and space and stuff like that. So, is there any questions you'd like to ask about science or space that you'd like to get an answer to? I actually do stuff with NASA, so I can probably assist you and give you your answers in a lot of cases. And I'm into astronomy, and I'm a science geek, and you name it. If it comes to being nerdy and geeky, I do it pretty much.
Wait. You know what a Dyson sphere is?
I do know what a Dyson sphere is. Yes, it is when you build a structure around the star to harness the energy of the star, and you live on the inner surface of it. So it's the inner surface is far enough away from the star that's in the habitable zone. So if we did one around our star, the inside of the Dyson sphere would be roughly where Earth's orbit is around the sun, and the sun would be at the center. So we harness the energy of a star
Okay.
by doing that.
Now, if I have a Dyson sphere, why doesn't it block out the whole sun, allowing you not to have any light?
Say that again.
Would a Dyson sphere block out the whole sun?
It would if you built a complete sphere around the star, because the star would be encased inside in the sphere. So the sphere would move around, would move through the solar or through the galaxy with the sun, because the sun would be at its center, and gravity would actually hold it in the center. Because the way that gravity works, it pulls in all directions the same way, the same amount back into the center of the star, right, or the center of a planet or the moon. So because it pulls into the center, and the sphere is built around it, it will pull the sphere in the same direction at all equally. So therefore, it'd be held around the star. And as the star moved around the galaxy in its path around the galaxy, which is about 250,000 years to go around the galaxy once for our sun, that would move with it. And if it was a complete sphere, you would not see the sun in the inside at all, because it would be completely solid on the outside.
Yeah. Recently, I learned on what an electrolyzer is. The electrolyte system.
Okay, tell us.
It splits water using electricity into hydrogen and oxygen.
Yeah, electrolysis, yes. So you pass electricity through something, and you have what's called a cathode and an anode, and the electricity goes between these, and what it does is the electrical current splits the atoms and actually separates out the oxygen from the hydrogen, and you create the hydrogen gas, and you have O2 left over, because water is H2O, right? So hydrogen and 2 oxygen. Oh, sorry,
Okay.
2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen. So, and actually, if you think about this, did you ever make elephant's toothpaste? Right. Hydrogen peroxide, which is hair bleach, right? Get it. You can buy it in the beauty store for about. You get 30% is what I recommend. You get some yeast, right, and some warm water. Okay. And what you do is you mix the yeast and the warm water together to activate the yeast, and you pour it in with the hydrogen peroxide. And what happens is a big foam comes out, and the foam is really thick. And this is Jerry making fun of me, calling me Ike. So the foam is actually when you do hydrogen peroxide, like when you normally do a balloon with vinegar and baking soda. You've done that, right?
Yeah.
And the balloon is heavy and it falls to the ground because the carbon dioxide, which is what it creates, is a heavy gas. That's why it falls to the ground, doesn't float, right? Whereas when you do the elephant's toothpaste, what you actually do is you're getting the hydrogen peroxide, right? And you're adding the yeast, and the yeast causes what's called an exothermic. It gives off heat during the reaction. An exothermic means you apply heat to make them work. An exothermic is when you mix stuff together, it creates heat as part of the reaction, right? And in the exothermic reaction, it actually gives off oxygen, not CO2. So it makes big thick. It's like the volcano that you've done with the baking soda, but it's thicker. It's really thick foam, but the outgas that it gives off is actually oxygen. So you're actually adding oxygen back into the atmosphere, which is kind of cool. To a lot of your friends will probably be doing the volcanoes with the baking soda. You do it the other way around, and actually you're counteracting what the CO2. They're releasing CO2 into the atmosphere, and you're actually releasing oxygen into the atmosphere.
Yeah, I think I know how to make elephant toothpaste. It's just I never made it.
Yeah, it's a fun project to do. Now, I've done it. That's what my son did for his science
A
project.
fun project, Ethan, would be to go in the living room, have your dad buy a big 2-liter bottle of Coke and some Mentos, put it on the coffee table, and when everybody's sitting around watching TV, you take off the lid and you drop Mentos in it.
No, Diet Coke is better. If you do it with Diet Coke, is better, but do it
It's
outward.
stickier.
Yeah, drop them and run because
Yeah.
it foams up and goes all over the place. It's kind of fun.
Drop it in the toilet.
No, you damage your toilet with that. So you do it out in the street. You go over, you drop them in, drop it, and run. The whole.
I did Diet Coke and Mentos before.
That's fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you ever do an air rocket? You use a bicycle pump to
Pump it up.
build up pressure to launch a rocket.
No, but I think I did a baking and soda rocket before.
Oh, that's similar, yeah. But all you're doing in the baking soda rocket is they're releasing the carbon dioxide into the rocket, into the chamber, and that actually is used for the launching, the pressure of that. It's
I've seen
similar.
air rockets on YouTube, professional ones that people build that are giant and they
Oh, yeah.
launch different things.
They've actually launched. One of the colleges built one, a small one. By small, I mean it was about 16 feet tall, and they launched it, and they actually went into space. They passed what's called the Kármán line. So the Kármán line is 100 kilometers up, and it's when you reach that point, it's where you can see the sky is no longer blue. The sky turns black at the Kármán line.
Matt had a question a minute ago. He raised his hand.
Oh yeah. I just wanted to say good night, everybody, and I'll see you guys next time.
Take care, Matt.
Good night,
Very
man.
stream.
Good night, man.
Good night.
So yeah, so then like Blue Origin, you know who Blue Origin are? Do you know them? No.
So what was the propulsion for that?
For which one?
The one you were talking about. The
This
Kármán
CO2.
Ethan's
The
going.
CO2 one is actually carbon dioxide under pressure.
Goodbye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
You can
Ethan.
come on and chat with us more. I like all sciencey stuff. He might come in more. He's invited to come in and talk science anytime he wants.
Yeah, we'll definitely get him in.
Yeah, it's like that's me nerding out, so I'm happy.
Yeah, you can definitely talk about that for hours, and he has.
I'm sorry. I'm not a teacher. I have done teaching. I've done some science teaching a little bit. I'm not a teacher. I like presenting to the public to explain in an easy way how science works and how some things in science. Like I do a presentation with on spectroscopy, and it explains how it works. And I include phosphorescence and fluorescence and so on, and explain how they operate. And if you explain it, I like explaining it in a way that's easy to understand, that kids can get it. And if a kid can get it, adults get it too. So that's what I like to do. I like to use a lot of analogies about an analogy to explain relativity is a train. I can use a train as to describe it. Or an analogy for the Higgs boson. There is an analogy out there for Higgs boson talking about a VIP, like a movie star, walking into a room. And I can use that to explain the Higgs boson and how it actually gives something mass. So I like using that type of term, that method of teaching and explaining. It's just because it carries across easy and people get it better.
So
I need to run, guys.
I'll see you,
Take care, Jerry.
All right, Jerry. Have a good night, man.
Bye. Later, everybody in chat.
Ciao. Thanks for joining.
So Ethan was born with a seizure disorder,
Okay.
basically epilepsy.
Yeah.
And once we got his epilepsy out of control, he's blossoming. Now when we travel in the car, and we travel pretty far sometimes for vacation, he can't watch anything on a screen because he'll get motion sick, right? So he can't entertain himself
I can't.
by
I
watching
get
a movie or playing games or
I
anything.
can't read or anything.
And so he just asks questions. Like imagine for 12 hours, like these kind of sciencey questions, asking about whatever he happens to be thinking about, tornadoes, volcanoes, everything. And yeah, he soaks it up.
Yeah, and that's good. An inquisitive mind is really good. I think I've seen that video as well, Chris. What makes an inquisitive mind work the way it does is having someone there willing to answer.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you are open to answering the question and giving them an explanation, and if you don't know, you don't know. Fine, that's okay.
Right.
Right? It's good to say I don't know, but let's go find out together. Then give an answer that's incorrect.
Yeah, we've done that too.
Yeah.
When we go like literally, real close to our house is a used library book sale place where you can go and buy used library books, and he always beams right to the science section. He doesn't really buy any fiction books. He's all about the nonfiction. He picks up books about rocks and minerals, anything you could think of that's science.
And I've always been like that. Like I was the type of kid.
I have too. Yep.
Yeah, in middle school, I was the type of kid that, like in Ireland, we buy our books for school, right? We don't get them like you do here. We buy them, and then we actually trade them. We buy them secondhand in most cases. But when I was growing up, we'd get the books like at the beginning of the summer or halfway through summer maybe, so they're ready for September going back to school. But I'd have a science book read before I even got into class. I was done with it. I knew everything in it before we even got to class, right? And that I was always interested, and he seems to be interested like that, and that's good. And curiosity is what makes science work. If you're not curious, you can't be a scientist. Like your drive to learn and to explore and to figure something out is what makes a person a scientist. And you don't have to be a doctorate degree in physics or in quantum mechanics or whatever, right? To be a scientist, you just need to be inquisitive and learn and discover on your own. That makes you a scientist. The fact that you asked a question like he just did, that qualifies him as to have a scientific mind. And to me, that you're a scientist because you're exploring, you're inquiring, you're learning. That's all you need.
Marcus, have you seen the advertisements? There's one for, I think it's called Gia, and there's also one called Curiosity Stream.
Yep. Check out NASASpaceplace.com.
All right.
There's Gia or Gaia. I think it's Gia. And then
Gaia is actually a European satellite.
Yeah.
It's actually mapping the universe.
Yeah, there's a show they talk about on that Gia or Gaia, whichever one they talk about space and everything else and stuff like that. So
that's an ESA channel, European Space Agency. So the question there about what are the thoughts of quantum physics, I think we are barely scratching the surface of it, and we still have a lot to learn. But it is the stage we have to go to, because we've gone from large bodies all the way down to the macro and the micro. We need to go and below the micro. You have to go to the quantum level, right? What's inside the atoms, how it all works, and it's a growing field. It's a big field, and we have a lot of discoveries yet to do. I think we're only scratching the surface right now. Science
for the win.
Yeah.
I'll say it. So the video games that he plays, they're all very nerdy. Like he plays this simulator where you mine for gold and minerals and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a simulator game. You play on Steam, and it's like.
Does he have Kerbal Space?
He doesn't, but he has no oxygen included.
I don't know that one. Kerbal is Kerbal Space Program is on Steam, I believe it is, and it's you build rockets for missions. Right. You have to build it correctly. The math, the physics, and they actually work with JPL to get the physics of the game right. So you have to build a rocket, and you have to set it all. You have to plan all of this out, and launch a rocket. You can launch to moons. You can launch to other planets and stuff. You can do landers where you come in and you can guide a lander down to land on the surface. But you need to get it right. The physics of the game are really good. The other thing he should look at if he likes space and science is he should look at Universal Sandbox. Universe Sandbox. Universe Sandbox is free, and it's so cool because you can build your own solar system and put in planets of different sizes and change the mass of a planet to see what happens. Like Universe Sandbox is really cool because an orbit is a geodesic, right? Where the star bends space around it, so anything going in a straight line would actually become a curve, right? That's how Einstein explained it. So a straight line becomes a curve. That's called a geodesic, and a geodesic that loops back in itself is an orbit, right? So in Universe Sandbox, you can have a solar system, and you can go in and delete the sun. And without the star being there, do you know what happens with the planets? They travel in a straight line because gravity curves space. So anything that's moving within that gravity well is curved, and because the planet wants to move in a straight direction at a speed, but the curved space is causing it, even though it's going in this direction, it's actually moving around the star in that direction, right? So it's moving at 90 degrees from the star. So the star's here. You're moving. Your direction is this way. If it was this way, you'd dive into the sun. If it was this way, you'd be moving away from the star, right? So you're moving at 90 degrees. And what happens the moment the star goes away, you move straight line at 90 degrees where the star was. So all the planets will actually drift off in a straight line, wherever they were at the point, they will move in a straight line from that point.
Well, isn't it a bit like throwing rocks with a sling also?
Hey, John, how are you? John is a member of my astronomy club. John's also a solar system ambassador at NASA, like myself. And John is we do a lot of like astronomy stuff together, and he's also new to 3D printing. So he's got a new 3D printer. He's getting into it. He's enjoying it.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, on these hangouts, John, we don't just talk. We start off with 3D printing and making stuff, but we always go to the science. You know I'm a nerd, so we always go to the science.
Right.
But Universe Sandboxes are cool because you can get even bigger planets and put them in there, and you can get Jupiter and put it where the planet is like similar to Earth, and put it close to it to see what it'll do to Earth's orbit.
Right.
You can do all this kind of stuff. You can make the sun smaller or bigger. You can make the moon larger, and you can actually you can speed up time and see how they interact.
Oh.
For a kid like Ethan,
yeah, right.
That's fantastic. But I love that.
So, and no oxygen included. It's real cartoony, and animation is 2D, but you're stranded inside a meteor.
Okay.
And you have to sustain life of your crew members, and it's eventually you have to build a rocket so you can escape. But it starts out with you're just stuck there, and you have to. It's very science based. Like in order to get oxygen, you can do electrolysis, and you harvest different minerals, and it's very science based. And he loves the game. He plays it for hours. At the same time, he's learning all about chemistry and everything.
Yeah, well, Kerbal Space Program is like that. But you can start off just by practicing, but eventually you get into doing missions to a moon, missions to go to put a satellite into orbit, and the physics of building the rocket is the way it is correct, because I said they worked with JPL.
I want that one myself.
But you have to pay for it. It's a paid game.
Yeah.
I don't know how much it is, but Universe Sandbox is not. John, what's the other one? I know you're out there listening. What's the other really cool space one? There's a couple of other good ones. I'm trying to remember some of them.
Loopy Lou's asking a question about hydrogen sulfide.
What about it?
Is this something in 3D printing or?
No, it's the smell of rotten eggs. When you smell a rotten egg, you're smelling hydrogen sulfide. Like stink bombs, when we used to get when we were kids, that's hydrogen sulfide is what it is. So
Is that what they put in natural gas to scent it, or
yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, I don't think it's hydrogen sulfide, but it's something like that they put into it. Like when I was in high school, in our last year of high school, our science teacher was the last class. He said you can do it, make whatever you want. He said you've learned enough about chemicals, and yeah, I made hydrogen sulfide.
does it come out of some sewers?
Sorry?
Does it come out of some sewers? Because like, I'll drive over like a manhole and it's just
Yeah, it could.
just
It could.
stinks.
Yeah, all it is
Biomass breaking down produces.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's high. Yeah, but some of that as well is also methane coming out of the sewers as well.
Yeah.
Because it breaks down into methane as well. But hydrogen sulfide is basically hydrogen and sulfur. One sulfur, two hydrogen. It's like oxygen molecule, and it smells of rotten eggs. Is what it smells of. So I don't know if there's a specific. It's not dangerous to you as long as you don't inhale huge bulk loads of it. It does come from the earth during. It comes from landfills all the time. As long as you get plenty of oxygen with it, you're fine, which you would, because it's only you only get the smell of it in the air. I don't think you're smelling any high concentration of it because that would be unsafe. Because you need to get. It's not good for you. Too much of anything is not good for you. But I don't think it's an issue.
So what's been going on, David?
No,
Oh yeah,
not
Mr.
much.
Petzl.
Not much. Not much, man. Not much. It's been pretty mellow, actually.
Actually, you're talking about relativity, Jesse. The GPS satellites. Actually, it's not the GPS satellites. What they do, and your cell phone use Einstein's use E equals mc squared, the theory of relativity, because the satellite is moving so fast compared to you. There is a time difference between the two of you. For every hour, if you didn't do that, for every hour you'd be off by about 100 meters. So after a week, your cell phone would think you're in LA, and I'm in Michigan. So because it'd be off by that much over time, right? Because so we have to compensate for that in the GPS by using the Einstein's theory of relativity to calculate the time difference between what the satellite is seeing and what we're seeing. And as well, even the satellites, they have to calculate it as well when they're transmitting their signal. And they do regular, as they pass over Earth, there are certain stations they actually do time syncs with as they pass around, as they go around the planet. But they're off by milliseconds, but they are all off all the time. So your cell phone, the GPS chip in your cell phone, is actually calculating Einstein's equations every second when it gets an update, roughly. So what else? Jesse Day, okay. Yeah, it's not I don't think it's going to be bad as long as you're eating it. As long as you're not getting huge amounts of it, I think it's okay. Like I have a place not far from me that does recycling of garden stuff, like leaves and trees and whatever's in there.
Compost.
Yeah, they do composting and stuff, but yeah, they're like it smells nasty, but it's not an issue. But you're okay. When you're saying you're smelling it, you're actually smelling a handful of molecules in the atmosphere. That's what you're actually. Your nose is actually when you smell something, it's the molecules of that thing is actually going up into your nose, and your sensory receptors in your nose are detecting it and transcribing that into what your brain sees, right? But you're actually inhaling. So the next time you smell dog poop or horse manure, you're actually getting them. Those molecules are actually going up into your nose. I had to pick the worst thing. CO2 is good for plants, yes, for their so they can actually because they divide the CO2, release the oxygen during the day only, and use the carbon as part of the building block for the plant. Photosynthesis. Let's see. If it wasn't for Einstein's equations of space-time dilation, modern GPS would be adrift. Yeah, about seven. Maybe 7 miles a day, roughly. It's about 100 feet every hour, I think it is, or is it every minute? I have to double check. I can't remember exactly. It was per hour per minute. Hey, Daniel, how are you?
That guy's need to give me some water.
All right, man. Yeah, you can do it. It's not hard math. 3D newbie. He was in a car accident. He was in a bus. He was trying to pass through in a bus. He was in an accident. You can ask him for if you want when he comes back. He can go give you the synopsis again when he comes back. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that their cell phone is doing so much complicated math. Yeah. Yeah, that would do it. I live walking distance from a huge water. Well, that's no fun because they do. But you must remember, you're talking about billions of a particle of a fraction is all it is. Like 20, 50 or maybe 1,000 particles, which are tiny atoms, right? They're atomic size going into your nose. Like you don't even notice that, but it's enough for you to smell it. So
I just ordered my first resin printer today.
Ooh, what'd you get?
This Algo Saturns were finally in stock. When I checked this morning on Amazon, there were 11 of them. So I got one of those.
Cool.
And so
did you see what happened? The one that was just delivered to me?
No.
I got it. Okay, I was talking about it earlier on. I was sent a new resin. Now it was damaged in transport, right? So they shipped it to me. It's a brand new company, new printer. It arrived badly damaged. When I lifted up the box, it was rattling. Never a good sign. So when I opened the box, this is the top of the resin. And as you see, there's missing a piece here. And this is broken.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's not the worst of it. And it was transportation that damaged it. It wasn't the printer, right? And it was rattling on the inside. So I actually tilted it over. I took it apart. I opened it up, and I found the UV panel with all the UV lights and all of the lenses. The lenses were off. The panel had dislodged away from the frame, completely ripped off. And this is the panel with the heatsink for the UV lights. Is the heatsink. There should be lenses on all of these, and there's
wow. So that was seriously abused.
Now it was dropped really high. Here's what I think. On these standoffs, on the top of these standoffs, you see the screw is still in there. It was sheared off completely. So I'm guessing it was dropped on its side, and the printer hit the ground. And it was dropped hard because the inertia of this was enough to rip this clean away from the body of the printer.
Yeah, they had to drop that pretty good height.
So
you have me worried, Liam.
No. Well,
but...
this came direct with DHL from China, and I've never had problems with DHL before, but this came in.
Right. Pieces. Yeah, mine hopefully is coming from an Amazon warehouse.
Yeah, that'd be local. That's shipped in big pallets. They're safe, and you're getting it from an Amazon warehouse, which means you'll get it delivered by Amazon to your house, and like they are well cared for because they have to deal with it afterward. But yeah, it came in as a mess. Now apparently they're going to be shipping me a new one sometime today. So let me see actually if they update it. I haven't updated yet.
So Ethan doesn't know. It's going to be a surprise for him. He knows that I've been checking every day to see if it was in stock. In fact, a lot of times when I'm here on my other computer, he'll be refreshing on Amazon on my other computer, hoping one will come in stock.
Yeah.
So he knows I've been trying to get one for a while.
Yeah. So yeah, resin printers. Now, when you're teaching him, you have to watch him at resin. Resin is nasty stuff.
Oh yeah, he's not even going to be allowed near.
Never, Dominic. They'll never put resin on the space station.
Yeah, Ethan's not going to be allowed near that one. He'll only get to touch the final.
And even then, even touching the final part, coat it before he touches it.
All right.
You can paint it or something first. or have him paint it with you and have him wearing gloves, because he's still touching the resin to his skin. It needs to be covered with a clear coat,
Okay.
or with paint, so the skin doesn't come in contact. Resin can be really, really nasty, and it varies from person to person. So one person it'll be fine. Like Jerry deals with resin all the time, and it doesn't affect him in any way, right? Other people, they'll touch it and they'll get third-degree burns on their skin. I've seen some people with having it. So
yeah, it's going to be in the basement, away from everyone.
You're better off to put it somewhere that's more ventilated than your basement, because there is strong odors. There can be odors off it. Again, some people smell it more than others.
So we have an old coal cellar, and it has a window in it. So with the screen, so I'll leave that open. I'll close the door, so it'll be closed off to the rest of the. And the door seals pretty well.
Well,
maybe you can put a fan in the window, so sort of.
And then I also have a couple charcoal filters that'll be running, and so.
Well, does your air conditioning or your furnace sit in the basement?
It does not go in that room, no.
Okay, because that could carry it throughout the house when it's on. Now,
there's no central air in that room.
Dominic, I'll actually explain myself. There will never be resin on the space station for one simple reason. It's
gravity.
It's not zero. It's low gravity. There's very little gravity up there, but it's microgravity. But the reason why is resin is a liquid, and it needs to sit on something to be pushed down by the build plate to be exposed. And you pour a liquid in space. Remember I said a while ago that gravity pulls equally from all sides? It'll end up being a sphere of resin floating around. So the only way you could possibly do it, and I don't think they'd ever do it, is put it in something that spins. But the first thing is they have to pour it in the first place, and the fact that you try and pour it, it would actually become a bubble, a sphere floating in space. So they won't do it unless they find a way of doing injection of resin as a cure, like you do with FDM. And potentially maybe, but that's just slower. Why would you go there? Just do FDM then at that point. So that's the reason why it won't be up there. But they have done FDM. They've had an FDM printer on the ISS. They've actually printed a wrench. They printed a wrench because they were doing a test, and they had one up there, and they needed a tool. So the guys in Mission Control uploaded the STL file, or the G. I think they pre-sliced it for them. They have to get out of the G code, and the guys 3D printed the wrench that they needed up there. So
I just watched the show the other day when they were showing the printer on the space station. So several different little models sitting on top of it.
And you can prove that you can print FDM in space. If you get your printer and you hang it out of your ceiling, you will print.
Yeah,
it'll still print. Can't do a resin, but anything that's FDM or FFF or whatever other acronym. Well, FDM is the original term, but what's the company's name? The first 3D printing company. What's it called? It's not Genesis. Stratasys own that name. FDM. They own the term. They have the copyright for forced deposition and manufacturing, right?
They still do, don't they?
Yeah, they still own that, but that's that copyright. Yeah,
what's the guy's name? Devin? Is it Devin for Make Anything?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, Devin for Make Anything. He was showing vases that I saw it on his channel, and he actually has a vase called a drip vase, and he took the printer, mounted it to the wall, and it was printing. As it printed the vase, it was stopping to print these loops, and then go over here, and as it would just drip down and drip down and drip down. When you stood it up, it looked like it had little petals coming off of it. It was just the petals weren't filled in because it couldn't do that because it was printing in phase motor spiral mode.
Yeah.
So,
hey, Andrew, how are you?
Hey, Andrew, how's it going?
My connection may be too slow here.
Yeah, your video has just frozen.
I think we should keep using it FDM as often as we can, like not in a commercial sense because you'll get sued, But if we just keep using it, they'll eventually lose the trademark for it.
Well, a lot of the companies now use FFF.
Right. Yeah, because that's the one they're allowed to use. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's another one. Not FDM. There's another one. FFD or so. I can't remember. But there is one or two variations out there. But yeah, you can do a lot. Like you can print your printer upside down. You can you can mount your printer on a wall.
Yeah.
Ideally, not X, Y, or with the X-axis going up and down. Actually, it'd be better on the ceiling than it would be on the wall. The reason why is on the wall, either your Y-axis is moving parallel to the ground, or has to move this up vertically. If it moves vertically, it's a lot of strain on the stepper motors because it's a lot of weight. Or the X-axis moving, again, it's lighter, but the X-axis moving either against gravity would actually put strain on your X-axis motor. So on the ceiling, there is no weight, there's no strain on the motors because it's the same as being upright. It's just so the amount of pressure on the steppers would be on the stepper motors would be the same.
Yeah.
So hang it out of your ceiling and you can print. So if you're ever running out, Mylon, if you ever need space,
I'll get right up there, Liam.
Well, smart ass. So what you do is here's how you do it. You attach them to a board, and then you wind the board down. That comes down to you. You work on them, and you wind it back up against the ceiling. And see, you're getting halfway there. Oh, be careful! You're going to get a nosebleed.
I know, altitude sickness.
How much distance can you get out of that chair?
I can get up to about 6 feet.
That's crazy.
But it's kind of like we used to go to the bar.
No.
And when you're sitting there looking at asses all night long, now if it's a cute woman, yeah. But I don't want to sit there and look at butts all night long. So I go pull up to the bar and raise up and sit at the bar.
Yeah.
Good for you. Cool. And Dominic, yeah, you need to use alcohol because washing with water won't always remove all the resin because it's a viscous substance and it's not water soluble. Unless even some of the new water washing ones are still not 100% water soluble. They're somewhat, but if you use IPA, isopropyl alcohol, it will actually dissolve and breaks down the chemical bonds in the material, so you can and it dilutes it, so you can clean off your skin. You can't just do it with water. It has to be IPA.
I've seen someone advertising an epoxy-free UV ultraviolet resin.
Really?
Which is supposed to be safer. Now I don't know what they're using instead of epoxy.
I'm just talking with the guy. I just got a message from someone at what's her name? Is it iFun? The guys that make the new Super Racer Delta printer. FL Sun. Yeah, they're going to be sending out a new, and in a couple of weeks they're going to be sending out a new batch of the FL Suns for review, and he says he's got me earmarked for one of them.
That's cool.
That's my first Delta. I don't have a Delta printer.
Yeah, one of these days I'll get on it. Like I said, for me to do my channel, like I said, I got to get a table, just one of those white folding tables, and I got to get a
Welcome back, conclusion.
My camera's I think I bought that camera back in 2009. So
yeah,
for doing a YouTube channel, it's not going to work. I need to get an HD camera.
But it can be done. Well, I'm just saying though, if you did one about the hardships that you've experienced and so on, what you have to deal with on a daily basis, what life is like, I think people would be very interested in that. What do you think, Dave?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that would be a bit. I think you would get followers like that. Subscribers would just run through the roof. I'm telling you, it would be really, really good. You'd get huge following, I think, pretty fast.
And Liam was, you were talking about a high def camera, but Liam was had an example of one that he got off of YouTube or off of Amazon, and I picked one up off Amazon, and they were it was an off-brand, but it was 4K, and it was amazing. It's amazing video.
Yeah, I was just gonna get another webcam. Is all I was gonna get.
Just get a HD or go 4K, but
Yeah.
like I'm running HD here. I'm not running 4K right now. But you just need to have a HD cam, and ideally somewhat wide field of view. You don't want a really narrow field of view. Somewhat wide, but that's all you need, and you should be good to go.
Yeah, I just gotta get out and
But
pick
you
this
should do
stuff
a
up.
video blog on your cell phone, record stuff, and then post that to your stream. Like you're doing this. This is what I have to go through. Stuff like this is what I have to go through to get out of my house. This is what I have to go through to get from point A to point B, and explain the process, explain the situation, how you have to go, what's involved. People will eat that up. People like that kind of stuff. They like to learn that type of stuff. And like if you're doing a modification, you're into 3D printing. If you 3D print something for yourself to hold your cell phone on your chair, that's something people would like to know. You talk about it. You show the video of the printing. You show you fitting it to make sure it fits right, and you show it being used on your chair.
Yeah, me and David had talked about that. Me and David talked about that in the past. I was trying to design it to where it would sit. It's kind of hard for me. I can't really. I only got 2 fingers on the left hand that work. So, and trying to hold a cell phone and steer and drive at the same time, it just doesn't work.
That's why you turn around and you you print a mount for it.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Yeah, me and David had talked about that before.
Yeah. I'm not trying to make fun of you, but speaking of 2 fingers, there's a guy I use. I'm a Mason, right? I'm a Freemason, and one of the guys in the Masons, an old guy, he's passed now. He's dead now. Charlie. He was always he was a whiskey drinker, and you'd always ask Charlie how much whiskey does he drink, and he'd say I only drink 2 fingers of whiskey, and his 2 fingers of whiskey was this. So he always say I only have 2 fingers of whiskey.
That's funny that you say that because old people used to do 2 fingers, and even at the bar, even at our bar, people will ask for 2 fingers. You know, they'll ask for 2 fingers of whiskey.
Yeah, and that's like a double shot, right?
It is.
Yeah. So, but yeah, because they used to measure it like that before. You used to pour it into the glass. They'd hold the glass, and they'd pour until it covered the top of their finger, and then the Darman served you before they had used measuring cups. So that's where it came from, I believe. But it's kind of interesting. That's what Charlie's 2 fingers of whiskey. So when you said you had 2 fingers on your left hand, the first thing that came to mind was Charlie used to always use that, so I explained it to you. Charlie was a funny guy. It was funny. Charlie would be walking around. We'd meet in the lodge, and Charlie would be walking around, and he'd say nothing, and he'd walk by you, and he'd let one go, and keep walking, and he wouldn't even look at you as if I didn't do it, and he'd just keep going. And then you'd see him in the corner, looking back at you, and he's sniggering away to himself.
I found the epoxy-free resin, so it's at Matter Hackers. It's called MH Build. It says it's epoxy-free resin is a low-cost, low-odor material.
Post a link in private chat.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see it. Let me copy that because I might look into that because I do have I have some resin stuff coming up.
Guys, I'm getting yelled at.
Okay, Dave, you better go.
I have to fly.
Take care,
guys.
All right, Dave. See you next time, buddy.
It's funny.
See, Dave, I'll send you a link to that standalone app.
Thanks.
On Facebook.
Yeah, I look into that resin. I don't do a lot of resin, but because I know I have one, and well, hopefully a replacement for this one coming, and of the damaged one, and then I know I have another small resin coming later on, maybe in June or July. So I know I have at least 2 resins coming up.
I think Jerry was talking about a type of resin that didn't have any fumes to it.
He used Seriatec. He swears by Seriatec. But again, different people are sensitive to smells differently, right? So I have a very sensitive sense of smell. Like I can smell in the basement. I'll smell something not right and like that's cooking upstairs, and my wife might be in the room next door or whatever. She wouldn't get it. So I got a really sensitive sense of smell. So I smell resin. Doesn't bother me, but I can smell it, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Jerry, he says he doesn't. He can barely smell it at all. So everyone is different.
What's
That's
really
true.
interesting is this MH Build resin comes in a bag. It's like a fruit pouch, fruit juice pouch.
Oh,
So
that's actually.
I'm not sure if you don't use all your resin, how you're going to get it back in. That's my only concern. But
Well, you probably use an old bottle. You get one bottle of something. You just use that bottle and
sure.
pour your remains in there.
You're right about that, Loopy Loop.
What did she say?
Oh my gosh, this stuff's expensive.
Yeah. How expensive is it?
Trying to find the cheapest one here.
Yeah, so
there's a sampler pack.
I'm sitting down. You can tell us.
For it's 500 grams for $66.
$6 for 500 grams?
66.
Oh, that is pricey.
And that's the cheapest.
That's 30% and 30 around 30 or 40% more expensive than a normal 500 gram bottle of resin. Maybe even more. Maybe even 3 times the cost, depending on who you go to. Some resins out there are $25. You can get some other cheap ones, and you can get the more expensive ones, which are about $35-40. So that's a good 30% increase at least. I don't know how much Soraya Tech is. I think Soraya Tech's about $40 for a 500.
All right, so I'm reading this wrong. So I don't know enough about resin, but I see some of these are $17. So I'm not sure I'm reading this correctly.
Resin is as bad as a laser toner. It's worse actually. I think I've handled laser toners. I'm careful around resin. Laser toner you can wash off.
Does it make sense that some colors would be more expensive than others?
Depends on the additive in it to make it work, possibly. Because like even FDM plastic, they put additives because normal FDM, normal PLA is actually transparent. They add stuff to it to change its properties to give it a color, and that actually changes the print product quality. This is why I really enforce with people: if you change colors, even if it's the same manufacturer, you should always do a temp tower at least once for that manufacturer on that color, because I have seen white filament print at 195 and black filament from the same manufacturer require 210, all because of additives. It totally changes the properties of the filament.
Because I see there's a pewter gray epoxy-free resin. It's 1 kilogram, so it's twice as much for $30. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to read more about it. So maybe it's not that bad.
Oh, he says it's 4 500s for $66.
Oh,
you get a pack of 4 of them for that price. He said.
Oh,
That's
cool.
Non-fam. Non-fam is our internet search king.
Thank you, non-fam.
So, for someone with experience, you can guess and you can adjust on the fly on that statement about the temp towers. I would say for a beginner, they're a must. There's the info. See, non-fam is really fast at searching the web to find stuff. Pressure events. So you actually okay. That's different because you're not using Marlin then. It does, yeah. I don't know what rate it is.
Yeah, what is extrusion multiplier and pressure advance?
extrusion multiplier is based on your filament's diameter, and you have to feed this information the average filament diameter because it's going to vary a little bit. You put this information into the printer, and it calculates how much it needs to extrude based on the density and the filament and the average diameter of that filament. Instead of using just an extrusion rate, it actually does a calculation, and it might over extrude or might under extrude based on the material once you set the extrusion multiplier for that material.
Oh, okay.
So that's that. Now, if you've got good quality filament, it's fantastic. It's really good. I mean, and you can do some linear advance as well to make sure that you will get all that good, nice and tidy. But if you're buying cheaper filament, like if you're buying $20 rolls or $25 rolls of filament, the diameter is going to vary so much, you might get questionable results out of it. Resin prints, some of them can withstand heat better. It is true to a point. It does withstand heat better, but it's way more brittle than FDM. So it depends on the application.
Yeah, that's what I heard, that resin prints were more brittle than FDM prints.
I've seen 190 and 220 being one filament comes out horrible and really bad, and then at 220 prints like a dream, like butter. So I've seen a big difference in them. It depends on the manufacturer, depends on the material. The higher the quality material you buy, the more consistent you're going to get a result. Which also goes into why you're doing the linear advance, or not linear advance, the extrusion multiplier. Yeah.
I gotta go. Thanks for letting me hang out again.
Always, you're always welcome. You know that.
Oh, no problem.
Thank you. And I know he's probably in bed now, but tell him you said hi, and he's welcome anytime to come in and to just talk nerd. We're happy to do it.
All right.
All right. And it's also open if you just want to come in and chat with just me. I'm open to have just so you won't feel like there's lots of people on the stream, just to have someone to chat stuff with, ask questions. I'm happy to do that as well if you want.
All right. Cool. Thanks.
All right. Anytime.
All right.
Take care. Take care, Marcus. Take the average diameter over a 1 meter of filament, put it in the slicer. It does not affect the outcome similar. Okay.
Okay.
Actually, $22, $23. They are, because there's filament out there that's $40 a roll. That's bull.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I've used East Sun a little bit. I haven't used Filacube. I've used a lot of G-Tech. I've used, who's the others? I have a various selection there. I'm recently using, what's their names? What's the name? I'm looking. Yusu is actually quite good filament, and it's not that expensive. I actually like it for the cheaper level for the cheaper filaments. But if I want something that's consistent like that, I would probably go with I'll use IC3D for my PETG. It costs more, but it's fantastic quality, and I know I'm going to get consistent results out of it. So it depends on what I'm using it for. Jesse's explaining the pressure advance to us.
Okay.
Yeah, it calculates based on the pressure of extruding the material, so it knows how much material is going. It calculates how much material is going to come out of the nozzle at any one point.
All right, I understand. Yeah, for me, buying filament, I'm spending anywhere from $19 to $25. So.
And this is an E. I don't know what you mean by an E. Oh, yeah. Well, I buy, if I bought 1 kilo of IC3D, I think it's $35. I don't buy it that small because I buy larger spools at 2.5 kilos a spool. Therefore, it's cheaper than buying 2 kilos.
One
It'd be about it'd be worked out about $50, $55 for 2.5 kilo. So it's much cheaper the more you buy. They do a 10 kilo spool of recycled PLA or PETG right now, and it's $149 for 10 kilos. That's a really good price.
Man.
And they're saying like they do a lot of testing in house, and they send stuff out for testing. And they say, and even in house, because they print with the raw material, they have big, heavy industrial printers as well. And they said that the recycled PETG prints almost as easy as PLA. It's actually really, really smooth because it's been through the process more than once. So it actually, because it's been through the extrusion process more than once, it actually prints better.
Okay.
They actually do degrade. They fall apart. They don't bend, but they do melt and drip away. The structure of them falls apart is what happens. Yeah, I know what that's like. I have the same problem. I use it, and I swear by. I started buying it during the COVID times, and because they were the only place nearby me, then because they're in Ohio, and I had never had a problem with their materials. It prints like a champ for me, always. I never bought their PLA. They do sell PLA. They do sell all of the more exotic like carbon fibers and all this kind of stuff, but I've never had a problem with their material. And they print with their products themselves in house. They use their own products, so they know it. So they design it for themselves to be good. Corex is a very good US filament. I haven't tried them. Yeah, I've never tried their material.
It's high as $50.
Green Gate PETG is recycled. I believe it is recycled material. All right, Jesse. Thank you for hanging out. Always fun.
Have a good night, Jesse.
Now we're getting ready to wrap up because we've been here just over 3 hours. PLA Plus is my preferred. Eason PETG prints like butter for me. I haven't tried Eason PETG. I've done their PLA. I've done various other PETGs, and I do prefer the IC3D stuff, but I've tried others.
The Eason PETG is good. I use it.
Okay, and the PLA Plus is just a bit less brittle PLA, and has slightly higher temperature resistance as well. Yeah, Green Gaze Recycle, I thought so. I haven't tried it. Well, you're always well. We like having you hang out. You should come on stream sometime. You're always welcome. You know that. I've never used it, so I do not know. I haven't tried theirs. I've done the G-Tech PETG. It works. It finds well. I've done the Hatchbox PETG. Prints fine, except the black. The black is really, really stringy, and I find black filament one of the hardest to print. Whatever
that Sunloop PLA, it's crap too. I just sent back 3 boxes of it last month. It was a great PLA. Now, I got their PLA Plus, and it prints pristine, but their PLA is crap. So is their PETG.
Yeah. Well, it's not just them though. I find black filament in general can be hard to print.
Yeah. Well, this one's great.
And I know other people who hate printing white filament, and I can print white filament without any issues here. But I know people who hate printing white because they have terrible stringing problems with it. It all depends on the manufacturer, and it depends on the additive they use to make the color and the amount of that additive they add. But it does change the print properties. I've seen some really, really bad black and white, and I've seen some fantastic black and white prints. I'm printing white PLA right now, and it's printing fantastic. But I've seen some that came out really, really bad, all because the additives in the material. So it can really change the properties of the material to an extreme extent. As I said, I've seen 50 between anywhere from 10 to 25 or 30 degrees temperature to get really good quality, depending on the manufacturer and the color. I have some there I have some PLA there that only prints at 220. Below 220, it's horrible. It gets really, really bad.
Well, I have that that stuff you got sent to me from Printed Solid. I have one of their PLAs. It has to be between 215 and 220, or else I'll start hearing that clicking in my extruder.
Yeah, that means your extruder is trying to feed, but it can't
Yeah.
get through the nozzle because it's not hot enough. Yeah.
The other ones they're fine at 210, but that one right there, nah. It's one of the reds that came, and if it's not at 215 to 220, it's not happening.
I'm printing PLA right now, G-Tech PLA, at 190, and it's printing fine.
Yeah.
And it's printing fantastic. So every manufacturer is going to be different, and the base material is pretty much the same. It's what they add to change the color can really drastically change the properties.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
I mean, very, very extreme differences. Like I print clear PETG most of the time. I buy the natural PETG. There's no additives in it, so I've consistent. No matter how much I print with it, I'll always get the same results, right? But I've seen a buddy of mine change colors in PETG, and he got clog after clog after clog because he wasn't running hot enough. He was wondering what was going on. He ramped up 10 or 15 degrees he had to go to. I normally do PETG at 230, 235. He had to run his at 250 to get a good print out of it.
I've been running the ones I've gotten. I've run it at 245.
For PETG, 245 is okay. But you're running a Bowden 2 printer.
Yeah.
It's not direct drive. Don't go over 240 or 245.
Yeah.
You know why, right?
It'll burn that
PTFE.
Yeah, it'll burn that up. So when I switch mine over to the Capricorn,
even then, Capricorn,
it'll still cook it.
It'll still cook it, even though they say it's rated at 300 degrees.
Yeah,
it'll cook it start cooking at 245, and it releases a gas. Is what it does when it's baking.
Yeah,
and that's poisonous.
Yeah.
With marbles, Dominic, I hope you're using a 0.5 or 0.6 nozzle, because 0.4s are notorious for getting blocked with a 0.4 nozzle with marble, because the additive into the marble that gives it the marble effect, the dots, the dark areas, that can cause clogs. So you should use a larger nozzle, a 0.6, a 0.5, 0.6. I would say 0.6 for marbles. I would say do it for marbles. I would do it for wood filaments, for anything that's got additives like glow in the dark materials, phosphorescent materials. Larger nozzle, 0.6 or bigger.
Stuff like that, you got to, especially with those fluorescents, you got to have a hardened nozzle.
You do, yeah, and even for marble, you need to have a hardened steel nozzle.
So I printed an Albert Einstein out of marble. It came out fine on 0.4.
Yeah, but I bet you if you did 10 items, or if you did 2 spools on it, you'll find your printer getting bad because you're after chewing up your brass nozzle.
That brass nozzle, yeah.
Brass is very, very soft.
Yeah. So now I just printed that one. It's a little Einstein about that big.
Yeah, I saw it.
It was a customer that wanted it.
It's not about the extruder, old curmudgeon. It's about the nozzle diameter, because sometimes the particles are big enough that if you get multiples going through the nozzle at the same time, they're big enough to cause a clog. So one might go through. If there's one every now and again, it might go through. But if you happen to come across a section of filament where there's multiples, they can actually create a blockage there and actually cause a clog. So that's why everybody says you should go to 0.5 or 0.6. 0.6 is what I would recommend, or greater. And I wouldn't do it at 0.4. I've seen too many people have failures at a 0.4. And even marble filament, there's an additive in there that makes it abrasive. Glow in the dark, the phosphorescent additive is abrasive. Carbon fiber, abrasive. Wood filament, abrasive. They will chew up your nozzles. Brass nozzles, I've seen people having to replace brass nozzles after 1 spool of wood filament, or 1 spool of phosphorescent glow in the dark filament.
I don't see any benefit of printing with wood filament. I really don't. I don't.
Some people like to dye it.
Oh, they like to stain it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw when everybody was printing that group, there was everybody that got that wood filament. Well, people went crazy.
Yeah. With regard to, if you don't have a bone tube, you have an all metal hot end, you still need a larger nozzle, but you can run higher temperatures because there's no heat, there's no PTFE in there to be baked. Well, you're getting lucky because I've seen too many people with clogs with that setup. But bridging should be okay. But it's not to do with extruder. If there's a clog, you can't push it through nothing. If there's a blockage, you can't push it through. The extruder doesn't dictate that. The extruder makes consistency in the extrusion, but if the nozzle is blocked, it's blocked, and the extruder won't overcome it. Especially if it's particles like wood filament or whatever clogging it up, you won't push through it. So you're using a hardened nozzle. That's okay. That's a hardened nozzle. Point made. Thank you, Paul. Paul backs me up. I'm not just speaking through my hat, even though I do it. I'm speaking with a hat, but I'm not just. It is true that it does cause clogs. So it does vary on the material you're printing as well. Some will work fine, but the vast majority will come across clogs. A 0.6 would be fine. You didn't need to go to a 0.8, but a 0.8 gives you faster prints because you have less walls to make, so you print faster.
I don't think I've never used anything bigger than a 0.4.
I have gone up to a 1 millimeter. I have 1 millimeter nozzles. Actually, I have some here. I've printed up to 1 millimeter. You can't print. The only thing is you can print fast.
Don't you have to
Tim Tim's stuff is fantastic. Everything that Tim does is fantastic. I've never found an issue with anything that Tim ships, ever. I've had him on the channel, actually. I've interviewed Tim on the channel. Tim, and he's a really nice guy. He's easygoing. He's often, they have a Discord channel. He's often on the Discord. You can reach out to him there. But yeah, because he's a maker like us. He's an end user. So when he works on stuff and he does his own boards and stuff, he tests them for 6 months before he says it's good enough to be sold. Everything he ships, he tests it for months. So you're getting what he knows is that he's actually used work that works.
Yeah,
that's why I like dealing with Tim. You have the 0.6 from Tim as well. Too persnickety. Not many people use that term very often. Persnickety. It's a lovely word, but it's not used very often. Oh, you want to do the all metal or the direct drive on the FL Sun? I haven't seen that mod. I don't have a Delta. So I don't have any Deltas yet. Yeah, Tim is a good guy. I like him. If you go back and check the videos, I have an interview with him, and he was easygoing, layback guy. He's a really nice guy to chat with. And I've been on his hangouts and I've been on some of his stuff with him, and I like dealing with him. He's a nice guy. He's actually been in some of. He's been in. No, I was on other people's hangouts, and he was in there as well. So I've done some. I've hung out with him as well online. And he's an easy guy to deal with. I like dealing with him. I don't find him tough. But he's not rough. I don't think he is. He is who he is, but he's a good, genuine guy, and he won't set you wrong, and he'll give you when what he sells is good, and if it's not, he'll make it right. Yeah, he does an Ask Tim stream every week. Yeah, twice a week. Yeah. Oh, nice. It's just his personality. He didn't do it on mine when I interviewed him. It's just his personality. And, I'm okay with that because people like to listen to him because he makes what he says makes sense. So 2 walls equals 3 walls. Yeah, the larger nozzle does give you faster printing because you have less walls to print. You have less trips on your infill to do. You can still do the 1 millimeter layers, but you can get through them faster because you have less laps to make around with the nozzle to build your walls. I haven't used the Sherpa. I think we're going to wrap it up there, guys. We've been on for almost 3.5 hours.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, and one last one. I'm running a Titan clone with pancake stepper on top of the hot end. Pushes more than the hot end can melt. Well, that's bad because that can cause clogs if you can push more than the hot end can melt. You should probably look at doing upgrading to something like a volcano. Now you can print. Will it go with a volcano? Then you can print fast because you can melt the material faster because you have a longer heat block. It'll melt the material faster, and you can push it through the nozzle faster. That means you can move your head faster. Your print head faster.
Can he adjust his Z steps to slow it down?
Well, he can just dial down the percent. He can slow down his step. That's easy enough to do, but he can just change his extrusion rate down if he wants to. But I'm just saying, if you want to print fast with larger nozzles, you can only push through so much plastic through a heat block that has a heat block this height.
Yeah,
that's your only melting area is this size, right? So you need to increase the melting area, and have like a volcano or something like that would do it.
Yeah,
and because the melting area is longer, the heat cartridge is this way in it rather than horizontal, it's vertical, and because it heats through a longer path, you can melt more material and push it out faster, and then you can increase your speed. Because like out of 1 millimeter, I had to slow down my prints, but I only had to do one wall because it's a really thick wall, right? Because I've done 1 millimeter prints, but I couldn't print fast because my heat block couldn't melt it fast enough. But if I use that same setup and I put on a volcano hot end, I could triple my print speed because I can go at 70, 80 millimeters.
It's got a longer throat to melt the plastic in.
Yeah, it's got more. Yeah, because a normal heat block is only a couple of maybe 8 or 10 millimeters tall, right? So it's a small print area, a small melting area. Whereas a volcano is so much taller, so it has a lot of area, more area. As the filament goes through, it melts fast over a longer distance, so it melts faster. So by the time it hits the nozzle, there's plenty of molten material there to be pushed out. That makes a big difference in your print speed when you're printing at large nozzles. You can't print. Who is it here? Well, he's doing 150 millimeters a second. Doesn't happen to, often, so I'm safe. Yeah, but I'm just saying you can print really fast. If your printer can take it, like if you had a Core XY and you had a volcano or something like that, and you had a good extruder on it, you could, and you had let's say a 1 millimeter nozzle, you could print really, really fast at that because it melts so much more material. You can push it out faster. But there is a limit on how much you can melt. You can't overcome the physics, right? It takes time for a material to melt. So the more you melt and the more pool of molten material that's available, the more you can push out. That's what the volcano does for you, or something along those lines.
Yeah, I don't think I need anything like that just yet.
Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up because it's late. Thank you for coming to join us. I hope you feel better, sir.
Yep, thank you.
And to everybody out there, thank you for joining. It was fun. It always is, hanging out, sharing ideas. And remember, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay printing. And I'll see you next Wednesday. And if that other printer comes in, the replacement printer comes in between now and Saturday, I don't think it will. But if it does, if I get lucky, I will publish a live unboxing. We'll get that printer up and running, and we'll get to see the new one-piece printer, not multiple pieces like I got. And we'll give it we'll give a small resin print and see how it works. And then I'll do a review then within a few weeks. I'll do some more. I already have a model ready for that printer. I know exactly what I want to print. So I'm going to do a Jerry and do a nice big model because it's going to be a big 4K resin. So that's the plan. All right, guys. Thank you. Remember, keep printing. Like, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and if you haven't already, but most of you already have because you're here all the time. But anybody else, please do so, and I'll see you next week for definite, and I may see you this coming weekend. Take care and good night.
Have a good one, Liam.
Take care.